You are now listening to the Sae Bae Cast, the #1 old school RuneScape podcast featuring guests from all across Galanor. To support this podcast, visit the Patreon link in the description.
All right, welcome to the Sae Bae Cast number 108 with Rendi once again. Rendi, how you doing this fine morning?
Doing good, chopping some maple logs and turning them into arrow shafts right now. So.
Hell yeah. I am crafting ruby amulets.
I don't know. I was going to ask you, because you're like the skilling expert here. Is this efficient? Like, would willow logs be better? Most people buy arrow shafts probably, right? But I can't get into the ranging guild, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like efficiency, I only know like the absolute most efficient. And even that I've kind of forgotten and kind of am out of the loop. I've never really necessarily played my account totally efficiently, but I'm pretty sure you should never string or fletch bows to be actually efficient. It's all about just getting the arrow shafts and then buying broad arrows. Yeah.
I don't have Slayer points, but I have some myth arrow tips I was going to use. But yeah, anyways, just chopping maples.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really been that efficient of a player. It feels like even though it's... Okay, so let's just take a step back. I'm talking like 3 years ago when I took this game very, very seriously. Like I wanted the competition, you know what I mean? I don't know if you ever played that way. I know you played more in a niche.
Not with skilling. No,
yeah. You were more in like a niche game style, and you had like the... Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw that Twitter post. I actually bought your Lower the Better poster. I love it.
When was that?
I bought it a couple weeks ago. It's the display that you have.
Oh, I didn't even see the Twitter post. What the hell?
Oh, no. Well, it wasn't like added at you. It was just showing off the apartment, and it just shows. I think it shows barely Galanor Games, Swampletics, and
the last post I saw from you was the one where you were a Mormon and you had a gun in the background.
Yeah, I posted that yesterday, and I was like, I don't know. I just saw it in my photos album. I was like, shit, this would actually kind of go hard on Twitter, I bet. So just.
I do see it. And you got the Galanor Games one, Swampletics. You got your Sae Bae Cast and buy release. Your Verf has one too. You're gonna have to buy that one next.
I didn't see it. I think
really it might be gone. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might. Oh, well, I didn't even really search. I just briefly looked up like Verf on Displate Store, and I didn't see anything. So I was like, I wonder if the drama that Verf kind of presented on Twitter like a while ago about Displate not paying their people. It had something to do with that.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
maybe
like that has to be it, because if you're gonna yell on Twitter about the company, like I doubt the company's gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna keep selling your product.
That, or he literally told them maybe to take it off because he is so upset with them. I don't know. Could be either side.
Yeah, I was looking for it though, because I definitely would have wanted that one too. 4 looks nice up there. 5 would have been a really tight fit, but I didn't see it.
I have it. Maybe it's a collector's item now. I have it on my wall, dude.
Shit, now I want it. I need all the collector's posters. See, the problem with Displate is I tried to put up my Sae Bae Cast art.
I remember you talking about that, yeah.
Dude, they just don't respond. Like, it's horrible. I can't get through to a human no matter what. I'm pretty sure I'm on their block senders list now because I emailed them like 5 different times over the course of a month. And it was just... Basically, they're like, yeah, we're not actually taking any new people, but on the off chance you're like a massive corporation or something, like you could send us an email. So I'm sending them, and I show my portfolio. It's one piece of art. I'm just like, can I sell on your site? And they just don't respond. It's horrible. But I wouldn't.
Now, what if you told them like you're a creator, right?
Yeah, I even brought up like that they already have creators that are in my sphere, like Swampletics and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I think part of it's just they don't want to take anybody on. They're probably just like busy, or I don't fucking know.
Well, to be fair, I haven't heard from them since then, and that was like 2 years ago. So they might not be doing any of that anymore. I don't even know.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, that pic I saw, 8 years ago of me on my mission. I was just I don't know. I look back and I'm like, holy shit, that literally feels like yesterday. I even saw the
Yeah.
picture of you that you posted of
Where I don't even look like the same person.
yeah. Yeah. How
Yeah.
old were you
I
there? That was like 10 years ago or something, right?
yeah, I was
Something
like
crazy.
18.
Holy
Um,
shit.
and I looked like I was probably 14. But like, no, like, yeah, I'll tell people that they won't believe me. I'll be like, yeah, like you look back at me 10 years ago, I don't even look like remotely the same person. Like you would never be able to tell. And someone didn't believe me, and I like showed them in Discord the other day, and they're like, what the hell were you like ate by like some like alien, some reptilian being or something? Like, 'cause you do not look the same at all. It's like
Yeah.
maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
But
You definitely look younger. I mean, you can still see definitely the similarities and everything, but you do look like you've aged a lot.
yeah, I
Um,
have.
but yeah. I mean, I could see myself age. I think I look pretty similar to that photo. Obviously, I'm a lot younger, like, but you could still
Yeah,
totally tell it's me.
dude, my voice didn't even drop till I was like 17 or something.
Damn.
So like I matured extremely slow. Like I looked like I was like 13 when I was like 18. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird looking back, and you know what's also depressing is like you're never gonna get that youth back. You know, it's over.
Yeah, until like Jeff Bezos makes some like reverse gene splicing thing that throws us back.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so first, I know I said this right before we started recording, but I gotta once again just praise you on how amazing your latest upload was on YouTube. It's fantastic. It was just quality all the way through. And I gotta say, I really enjoy the longer episodes when there's actual substance. You know, when I'm
Right.
watching an OSRS YouTuber makes a long episode and it's not just filler. It's like shit's
Yeah.
happening. It's cool.
And I'm guilty of making like a lot of filler stuff recently. And like so I was like, yeah, this time I'm going to like actually write out a script and like kill parts of it that are like if I write something and it doesn't like pertain to any part of the goal or like it just doesn't make sense to have, even like commentary clips, I just took them out and I was just like, I want to try and get to the point. I had 1186 clips. Some of them were like over an hour long, and I had to like filter through them and like
Oh
just
my God.
scrap so many things that happened. Like I got like what was one of the things? I don't know. It was like the whole farming journey. There was like a lot of like lucky emplings I caught. I just scrapped out of the video. Like everything that just didn't really pertain as much to like the visage, I just scrapped. But I might put in maybe a later video. I don't know. But yeah, it was just a lot of time. So I was hoping it would be good.
Yeah,
So I put a lot
it
of
was
effort into it.
fantastic. I need to ask though, like, so when you're making videos, and the reason I kind of bring this up is I was talking to Settled about a month ago, and he was talking about how he makes his videos, and
Mhm.
that he has an ability, you know, to watch his video before it's uploaded and everything, like watch it and see it from a viewer's lens, basically. And I'm curious if you have a similar, I guess,
Is that like a
procedure.
superpower?
Yeah, is that like your superpower too? Like, I'm just wondering.
Um, from a viewer's lens.
Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just wondering, like, what's the ritual when you're making a video? Do you just make it, kind of watch it once, render it, upload it, like you're good, or like how does
Um,
that work? What's the ritual?
I'll watch pieces of it over and over again. The whole thing, I'll maybe watch 3 times before I upload it, and I change slight things in it.
Hmm.
Like, my wife was in here on the last one, and I would like spend a whole day where I just went back through and watched it, like, and paused it at a point and be like, okay, and I would write a list of things I needed to do, and she looked at my list. She's like, you could just upload this like it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You would just get just as many views. She's like, all this stuff is unnecessary, and my list was like, change the transition fade from one frame off of like to match with the blur on timestamp 36 minutes 0 seconds and like zero point 0.2 milliseconds, just stupid stuff like that. I don't know if that like necessarily means that I don't know if that's a viewer's lens. I feel like it's a very actually probably distorted lens. Probably the viewer doesn't give a fuck about any of that. But Yeah, I don't know if I have the same exact capability, so that's another thing I have to worry about because a lot of the stuff I do is not for like some person who especially doesn't play the game or used to play the game. It's someone who's like actively playing, kind of has to be able to somewhat understand it by having some experiences similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's more niche. Whereas like settled, he can appeal to a huge, population of people, and he has a whole different viewer base. Whereas for me, it's like I don't even if I tried my hardest to dumb down something as much as possible, I don't think I could get like half of the people who watch him. Just because he makes his content for everyone, it's like accessible to everyone, and
Mm-hmm.
he really does a good job at that. Whereas myself, I don't know if I have that skill, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd also have to think like what would be the cost of dumbing it down? Would it make the
Hmm.
content less like engaging? And it's hard to know because yeah, I assume your audience is more active players, or at least were active players at some point where
Some
settled
point
literally.
recently,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas a lot of settled is like nostalgia factor, I think.
Yeah, and people that genuinely have never played the game
True,
is what he
yeah.
says. So
Yeah, which
yeah,
is
there's
interesting because you think it would make them want to play the game, but they probably get on and they're like, "Fuck this! This is like a grind and a half. Like I'd just rather watch somebody do it."
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder about my own audience. Like, I definitely don't dumb things down. I'm just talking about like exactly what's happening right now in the game on a news post or
Hmm.
something like that. And yeah, it's definitely not for anybody that's unfamiliar with what's been going on. So, um, yeah. So I guess for those that maybe don't know who you are, which I is probably very few people that follow me but don't know who you are. But yeah, if you just want to like kind of go into what you've been up to. Oh, by the way, guys, Rendi's been on the cast before, so you guys are gonna have to check out that older episode. But I guess now, what's been going on in the past like 2 years, and if you gotta kind of just want to briefly introduce like who you are to maybe people that haven't heard of you.
Okay. It's a lot. Let me think.
I just threw it all at you. Just
Yeah.
go.
Um, just a guy who makes YouTube videos on old school RuneScape. I make some real life videos, more so in the past than now. I used to do like comedy sketches. Now I'm just doing long grinds on RuneScape, and now kind of working on a series on like a very unique kind of trophy account. When I say trophy account, that's kind of the main thing my channel focuses on, is just accounts that are like very quote unquote rare, or like that have items that like maybe no one else has, or less than a handful of people, and goes through some weird unorthodox process of achieving those items or those stats. um I just try and do things like really out of the box on my main channel. So yeah, that's what my channel's all about. Just really kind of out of the box thinking, trying to be creative on a little MMO. So, I don't know, and it's a great space to have old school RuneScape, which is kind of a really old and buggy game, and something you can do all kinds of things with, and it has massive amounts of content in it, whether it's intended or not intended. So I'm able to kind of use that huge playing field and come up with some crazy ideas or some crazy accounts, and showcase those on YouTube. So that's pretty much what I do on YouTube, and what I've been up to lately in the last 2 years is once again working on like a Defense Peer new series called Defense Saga, where it's just me trying to acquire like really completionist gear for a hardcore Iron Man Defense Peer. And a lot of it's just very convoluted once again to get, and requires all kinds of either help from other accounts or just weird methods. So that's pretty much what I've been up to, I would say.
What inspired that trophy account, by the way? Have you?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like I used to have a defense peer in like 2017, 2016, and it was the one that I made it literally just to go for like a lowest level fire cape at the time, which was like 25 combat and one prayer with like venom when it was passive. Um, and it was like 26 HP because at the time no one knew what melee ticketing was, so the melee layers hit 25s. I needed like one higher HP than that to get slapped and venom them. And so I got the cape on that account. I started playing it past the cape, and that's when I kind of realized it was like a fun account just to have, and you could wear, like Barrows, Third Age, whatever, at like 25 combat with a fire cape, and I was like, this is sick. I could do all kinds of things. I was going for like mole pet even on it, and like getting like 2 mole kills an hour for like 500 KC. Never got a pet. Just like dumb things like that, where I was like, I'd be like the only guy in the game if I had a mole pet at like 25 combat or something, and I kind of like lost touch with that and went back to Lower the Better, which is a series I had in the past where I'm like making a new account every 2 weeks and then just like throwing it away. And I didn't like that as much because it's like you don't get to see the progression for yourself. You just kind of scrapping accounts and making new ones. You don't have anything to build on. Whereas like now there's like I just have like a whole list of like just crazy things I need to do on this account. So it's not where I have to scrap something every 2 weeks to do something new. It's where I can kind of do something new and unorthodox on the same account over the course of maybe like 3 years, I would say.
So there was like a time back when I first had you on the cast where you were a little burnt of RuneScape. That
I'm still burnt. I'm always burnt.
So what pushes you then to do something that insane to put in 1,000 hours into like basically an episode? Because that sounds like anti-burn.
I had to.
Like, that sounds like you're
I had to
playing
finish what I started. Mainly is the reason I kept doing it. Like, yeah, there's a few times where I would be like, oh, I quit. I remember like a week before I got the Visage drop, I was like on Discord with some buddies, and I was like, yeah, I quit. Like I just logged out, and then I got on and I streamed like Grand Theft Auto 5 or something. Because I was like so mad, and I think the VOD's still on that or something. But like I was even talking about in the VOD, I was like, yeah, I just quit RuneScape, sorry. Like, and then a week later, like I just got back on it and kept. Actually, the next day I got back on it, kept going, and I was just like, I gotta finish this. Like, it's gonna drive me insane if I don't have this done, because like I already put this much time into it. I have to finish it now, or else it's just something that never like was. So I think it's more of like as bad as that sounds, like a responsibility to myself, like to just continue it and finish it. And there are times I do genuinely enjoy it. That's on like a day-to-day basis. It's not like every day I'm gonna love playing RuneScape and I'm just like so addicted to it. But there will be like a week or two or even just a day where I'm like really enjoying what I'm doing. And then I get off of RuneScape and then I look at like a comment or something of some guy. He's like, what was one I had been thinking this way before this comment, and this guy was like, really nice achievement, but this sounds like an entire waste of your youth. And I was like, that's what I've kind of been thinking every day after I get off about 5 p.m. I'm like, I'm having really fun in the moment, and then I get off and I'm like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I'm like spending all day playing RuneScape. So it's a definitely like a mixed feeling for sure, like between having fun, being burnt, and I really don't know why I keep going, but I do.
Dude, that's so like accurate. I don't know, but however, how I've been feeling over the past couple of years, especially like just this past year, is those same thoughts of like playing all day and then realizing like, holy shit, like there's so much more to life than just playing this game all day. But then when I don't play the game, then I feel bad because like I should be playing the game because I'm a content creator. So it's like this vicious cycle that goes both ways, where it's like I need to find that perfect balance. And yeah, it really sucks because no matter what I do, if I don't play the game at all, then I feel horribly like guilty for not playing it. And then when I play it all day, I feel horribly
you have
guilty.
People who want you to like see content from you as well.
I know.
So if you stop, you're letting all those people down, and it's like, it's like a vicious cycle. But like I have fun when I'm doing it. It's just the afterthought of like when I get off. It's like I could be doing something else, like so much like more important. But I don't know. I try not to think too much into it, but my mind goes crazy, especially when I'm not playing RuneScape. So that's another reason.
Yeah.
Like when I'm playing RuneScape, I'm preoccupied and I don't have to think about much besides like what I'm doing currently. Whereas like when I get off the computer, I just start thinking about some good things, some bad things, but just everything, and my mind goes crazy. So it's kind of like it's therapeutic in a way, I guess. But I feel like I do put a little bit too much time into it, to be honest.
it's just so tough because an episode that you just released couldn't have been that amazing if it wasn't for all the time you had put in, you know? And there's like no
Yeah.
way to get that quicker unless you just pay people to play your account and record for you.
Yeah.
But
People have literally suggested that to me. They're like, you should just pay a Vinny and like literally get some AI voice to like don't even pay for an editor. And the problem with that, I was honestly debating it one time. I was like, dude, what if I just entirely quit, pay someone to run everything, and maybe profit like 10% off of the channel or something by the time it's all done.
yep.
And I was like, but what's the problem there? It's like, one, you're letting everybody down because your content's going to be total like shit compared to what it was. And then two, the worst problem was I'm going to still have to record my voice. It's like, how do I do that? But now there's AI voicing. So, I can just mimic my voice and send it off to someone and be like, yeah, do whatever you want with this. You can just make up your own script and just take these clips and throw them together.
Dude,
But,
AI is getting so insane. Did you see those fake Trump pictures of him getting arrested?
oh yeah, yeah,
Dude.
and it had the context underneath where it's like, sorry, this is actually not true and edited by AI. It's like, oh my god.
Dude, I mean, first glance, when I first went into Twitter and I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just saw the picture real quick. I was like, there's no way this is real, but I thought it was real. And then
People in the comments were thinking it was real too, and it's like, even with that giant like disclaimer on it, I'm like, do people not read? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like those first couple just moments where you're like, whoa, like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
And then you look and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's getting to the point where it's so real. And I wonder when we're going to start seeing AI movies, where you can just say like, make this movie.
And I'm trying to convince my wife to like try and make something like that because she's kind of into AI and she works in all kinds of programming, but she's like, that's too heavy of a task. She's like, that'd take me forever to try and like get to that level of understanding with AI. And I was like, yeah. So like yeah, well now you can it's all like text to whatever. They have text to like Blender 3D animations. Not even joking. This is like a thing that just came out, and you can literally type like 8-bit mushroom and it'll like throw you back to like probably like a PlayStation 1 or like something before that even looking mushroom graphic, and you can just import it as an object into like Blender and like edit it, give it bones or whatever, and animate it.
Oh, that is so cool.
And it looks like literally like it's not like AI like not photography, AI imaging. It's like for some reason the models look better than the AI images. Like they look more realistic, like someone actually put them together. Like I don't know, it's like not missing any fingers. The thing's got like insane like specifications to it just through like a line of text. You tell it what to make, and oh god, that guy Blade, by the way, was showing me some of it. He's the one who does that huge multi-account boxing
yeah
thing, and that's like his passion as well, is looking into AI, and he was like showing me all these crazy things with it. I was like, damn,
dude,
like, yeah, another year he's like, they're gonna have like full-on Blender animations you can just pump out with like a sentence of text, and like, god.
So what happens with like schooling when Chat GPT is involved? I mean, when you can literally just have everything done by a robot perfectly, better than you could do it, basically. Like, what happens in regards to cheating and just never doing anything? There was a meme on Twitter I saw, and it was like this like little I don't know, orangutan or something hooked up to like a nose thing, like wrapped around like as if he was in a hospital, and it was like saying something about how like his doctor graduated medical school because of Chat GPT and had no idea what he was actually doing.
Yes, I saw that one. That one is great. I actually linked that to one of my friends. That was a good meme. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, I don't know, I feel like they'd have to like lock down people in like testing sites. You remember like those testing like locations that they would sometimes have for like courses? You have to go in and like they have like lockdown browsers on, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's like one of the only solutions is like imprison the students, like so you can't actually see them accessing anything to do with AI. I don't know.
It's just so intense because I remember taking a few courses in college. One of them was like a law class. It was called media law, and it was just basically the entire course is just reviewing these cases and like putting together a case for it. I don't know. And everything was open book. Everything was open source. I mean, you could literally use anything you wanted for it. And that was like a really beautiful, it was the hardest course ever. I failed it twice. I actually genuinely tried to take that course twice and I failed it both times. But it was really fun though, in a way, because it was literally everything was open source, and it could be, because how you pass the class is making really strong cases, and you can use all resources. So I wonder.
Oh yeah.
Like, I wonder in the future if these resources, like, you will be able to use them to. I don't know, because sometimes I think.
I feel like it's like you remember those like calculator licenses they had in like middle school, where like if you pass this test without a calculator, you can use the calculator license, which lets you use this graphing calculator in any test you want to or whatever. And they had those at least in my middle school, and it's like once you could pass this, then you're free to use your sources, kind of thing.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe something like that could be implemented.
Yeah, I just wonder, because I don't know. I remember having teachers that were very old-fashioned that wouldn't allow us to use certain technology, and basically throwing us back into the Stone Age. Like, no. Like, this is how you learn. This is how you really learn. But I'm like, why are we taking a step back, 50 years ago, just to learn how you guys think we should learn, where we have like the most insane resources of all time that we could use in conjunction with, other things.
I had this one professor that was like this really old Asian guy, and I can't even remember the class. It was like some high level like math class, and every other professor that I had spoken to the students of, they learned all this stuff on Excel, and it would just like automate the massive solved problems for them. They would just put the inputs in, run an Excel solver, and it would like spit out like, okay, the best variables to have in this case, in this inventory, blah, 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 is this. But he had us writing down matrices on paper with like 9x9 digits and like solving them. And I was like, oh my God. And for one problem, it would take like 6 hours.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you have to learn how to do this before you can use like these tools in Excel. And so, yeah, he never taught us the tools in Excel, but I had them in another class after that. So it's like, maybe you just have to just like learn enough, and then you're free to whatever. And you kind of
maybe that's it. Yeah.
You're a developed mind at that point, and you can take any kind of information.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting times we live in. Like, I literally could not tell you even close to what's going to happen in the next like 20 years when it comes to technology. Like, I literally don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if VR is going to be the new thing where we all have headsets on. I doubt it. I
feel like no. And there's people I've talked to in the industry who are like, VR is literally going to be like what cell phones were like to the home phone. Like, they're going to be like, everyone's going to have it. And like nah. I feel like that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't believe it yet. I could see a future where it gets kind of popular, but not like everyone's using it. Like, everyone's putting the thing around their face.
I had a VR headset and I sent it back. Got my money back on it
Was
because
it
I couldn't sit in that thing for more than 5 minutes without feeling like I was gonna puke for the next 3 hours. Like,
oh shit.
yeah, I had that motion sickness effect. And people are like, you're gonna get used to it. It's gonna be fine. And I tried it again and again and again, and I was like, this is not even worth it. Like, I'm on this thing for 5 minutes, and I feel sick for like 5 hours afterwards. It was bad.
Holy shit.
It's like getting food poisoning over and over again almost. It was not fun.
Oh my God. See, that is not a good sign that somebody that actively purchased this product, not somebody that's like actively trying to hate on it, and then makes an excuse that they're getting sick from it, but somebody that actually wanted to enjoy it's getting
Yes.
super nauseous from it. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
not good. So what were you doing on it? What was there
I was
anything
just
fun?
on, like, all I did, I only got to play like 2 games. Like, I played VR chat with all the degenerates, and then I played some like Beat Saber, and I couldn't. What's weird is the VR chat was worse than Beat Saber. Like, throwing the lasers all around. It wasn't as bad as just walking around and talking to people in like a chat room. Like it was bizarre.
Oh my god. Yeah, but
And then one guy was telling me, he's like, you can, put the settings to where when you're walking, you can clip from spot to spot, like you drag your mouse and you're like or like I don't even know, you press something and it clips you like 10 tiles in front of you. I'm using RuneScape terminology, and and instead of like walking those 10 tiles because it's apparently less for motion sickness. But I'm like, I'm not playing VR to just like teleport around the map. Like that just doesn't sound right.
yeah. Damn. That actually is kind of unfortunate. I've been not super excited about trying it on, but I've never actually I put on a VR headset one time, and it was for like 30 seconds, and it was a scary video game where you're like lying in a bed as like a child basically, and you just look around the room and you see scary shit pop up. So
That sounds amazing.
it was
That sounds awful.
it was
actually.
freaky. It was genuinely freaky, but I only put it on for like 30 seconds. And I was like, yeah, I'm done
Yeah,
with
when
this.
I first put that thing on, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, 5 minutes later, I was sick. So I mean, and then like, it was like the next couple times, it was still kind of fun, even though I was sick. And then after that, it was like, okay, this is over. It was kind of like a really gimmicky thing to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
party trick. It's like it's really cool at first, but after those first few times, it's kind of just the same.
All right, so we're gonna just get into the Twitter topics. One is from Dayton. He asks, "How hard/awkward was it to bring a full gaming setup into a restaurant to get the Infernal Cape? Was there a lot of planning, talking to management, or did you just show up and nobody questioned you?"
I just showed up. um, so like, for some reason, I used to frequent Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, I
For
would literally
some
just
reason.
I would just go in there and sit at a bar in a Buffalo Wild Wings and like smoke a cigarette and drink like at the bar by myself, even like before I had friends. So so yeah, I don't know. It was really awkward, to be honest. Like, this is back when I used to like self-medicate with alcohol at the time too. So I was really nervous about doing it. I had the whole thing planned out about what I was gonna do and everything for a long time, but I didn't want to do it. So um, I had my girlfriend at the time, call some of her friends over, and I had another friend come with me, and we were just sitting in my living room for like 3 hours as I was just pacing and like chugging beer, like before even going to this place.
Holy shit.
And 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 yeah, so they drove me there after I was like finally I was like, okay, let's do it. And I was like already completely shit faced and it's like in the gold suit and stuff. And I was really nervous at first, but like as soon as I sat down and had everything hooked up and like I was extremely drunk, anyways. I stopped caring at one point, and yeah, after that was okay. We had some people come up and question us, like we had a real waitress who didn't want anything to do with us really, and then we had this other waitress who like kept trying to get on the camera or something, which is the one you saw most of the time, and she like. I didn't even like tell her, like it was for like a decent sized channel or anything. She just kept wanting to get on the camera. She's like, yeah, like I don't remember all what else she asked, but she would always come up and ask something stupid or something, and
She was trying to go viral.
Yeah, she was trying to go viral, and she didn't even know like what this was for. So
Oh,
yeah, there was that, and there's people like looking at us because it was pretty full at the time. I actually went to two of them, so this is the first one, and we were just getting strange looks, and that's mainly it. We had the camera on the table most of the time. I did have my friend like take the camera and get some shots like away from the table, so we weren't like trying to put cameras at people's faces really. Besides, the one girl kept trying to come over to us and literally get on the camera. Like we tried to put ourselves in kind of like a corner against the wall, and yeah, management didn't question us really because we were just like ordering tons and tons of drinks and food, and there was like six of us. So having more people there kind of brought the awkwardness down a little bit, who were normally dressed,
mm.
and like they wanted to serve us food obviously because we had like a massive check, and I gave them like $75 tip or something too because I didn't want to piece of shit because I was sitting there for like 2 hours. So
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, so it was all good. It was just the initial part of it that was really scary, and then after that experience, did the same thing. Got really drunk beforehand because I couldn't do it sober for some reason, and went to another one the next day. Different location,
The
even.
next
Never
day.
went to this one before. Yeah, never went to this one before, and this was the one where the manager did come up to us and was like questioning us, and we were like, "Oh, we're just using it for videos, like, and like, can we do this?" And we didn't ask permission first, obviously, but
Yeah.
we got it later, and then like a lot of the bits were like, "Oh, people are like, you were rude to the waitress." Like we told her beforehand that, hey, come up and say this. Like, and I'm gonna pay for like the chicken wings anyways, even though I'm gonna say that like I'm a pescatarian and tell you to take them back. So people are like, "Oh my God, you told her to take the wings back, and after you realized you were pescatarian, you're so rude." But in reality, like she was in on it, and like it was all just a big joke, and they kind of had fun with it, the people working there. So I'm at the end of the day, it was awkward to get started, but I feel like it made some people laugh even on the staff, so it was good.
That's good.
Uh, yeah, and once again, had to tip a lot because I was there for so long and I felt like a complete ass. So, yeah, that was kind of the whole experience.
So last time I had you on the cast, there was a lot of talk and excitement about the IRL channel, Rendi versus the World.
Hmm.
How has that gone for you? Just in your own experience, like what have you been? And I guess for those that maybe don't know, you have an IRL channel. What was? I guess
Yeah,
yeah.
it was good. It was fun at first, and I kind of stopped doing it, and it was kind of on the rise, and I just really slowed it down because I mentioned this before on a different podcast, but there was a time even my wife was like, "You hate doing this." She's like, "You literally dread before you record like doing anything," and I would get not on the Rendi versus the World channel, but some of my other IRL videos on my previous channel, my real channel before that, I would get really drunk because I just hated recording myself so much and like
Mm,
having to talk to people. I'm like a really kind of actual like closeted caveman in real life, so I don't like going out and doing much. But um yeah, I just really didn't enjoy it. And there was one time I was gonna say that I mentioned on another podcast where my camera guy couldn't make it because he got sick, and I was like, oh yes, like thank God, I don't have to like, go
uh,
do this, and I even like had to like eat like a $200 Airbnb fee because we canceled the last second, but I
oof.
was still like happy about it, and that's when I knew. I was like, I don't know if I want to be doing this because I'm like happy that I just ate $200 and I'm not having to record anything today. So,
Holy, yeah, that's
um,
pretty apparent.
yeah, and but every now and then I get the weird fantasy in my mind that I do want to go make something, so I'll throw it on there. And then afterwards I'll feel like, yeah, I didn't really like doing that. And it's just back and forth, back and forth. It's just I really don't I'm like I just turned 29. I still don't know what I want to do with my life. And another thing with the RuneScape issue we were talking about earlier is like I question that with RuneScape too. It's like, oh, did I just really enjoy doing that, or did I just do it because like I felt like I had to please an audience, or I really don't know what I want to do still, and I feel like a lot of people are like that. So I'm kind of just experimenting, and that was kind of an experiment, and I'll go back to it, I believe, at some point a little bit, but um, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what I like to do, so things are up in the air.
Ugh, that sucks, man. Like it just sucks that like I don't know, thinking you want something and then realizing it that this isn't really what you want to do.
Yeah, well,
Ugh.
what's weird is like I really enjoyed like writing the ideas for videos down like that, and for like even editing them, which I really don't like editing normally, like RuneScape videos and editing. Even though I spend too much time doing it, I don't really enjoy the editing aspect as much. But for some reason on these videos, I really enjoyed editing them and like kind of scripting them or just putting kind of a timeline of what was to go down. But when it comes to like me having to get on a camera and like say just wild and absurd shit, it's just like I don't want to do it.
Mm.
Uh, I
So
think
if
that's the main issue.
so if
I
you
need
would
a
just
I need a front man, dude. That's what I need. Or like
yeah.
I need to work in like some back end scripting office or something and just write for people, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, I can feel that. So Yeah, it's weird because like RuneScape is something you've built a big channel off of. And so it's
Mhm.
always that thing you can come back to. And I feel like regardless if you're enjoying the game or not, there still is that enjoyment of like I've built a pretty big audience here, and no matter what
Yeah,
I put out,
definitely.
it's gonna be fun for them, and it's also gonna be like fun for me to probably interact with the comments and everything like that. At least when,
Yeah, the
yeah,
comments, dude. You're like, it's like once you've had like a taste of like tons of positive feedback, I feel like you're always chasing that kind of feeling.
yeah,
So I feel like that's a big part of it. Like I just want to see the positive feedback, as bad as that sounds. So I'll come back to RuneScape a lot and do that, and just see what I can, get grab from people.
hmm. So how big of a part of RuneScape not being as fun is a part of age? Do you think just like getting older, or do you think it's completely other factors of
I think
just
it's probably about half of it, honestly. It's because you realize you're getting older too. Like I was saying the other day, I was like, I'm almost 30, and like my resume is just RuneScape. Like that's it. Like that's kind of sad if you think about it, but
that's me
but
too,
then
dude.
my wife's like, the person on the other shoulder is like, well, you have experience in, editing videos and marketing yourself and writing and other things like that are related to that. It's not just RuneScape, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's
Yeah.
not, but it's sometimes hard to look at it like that, and then you go back to that kind of thought where you're like, yeah, just play RuneScape. That's what I do. That's it.
Dude, the hardest thing is, at least for me, because I feel very much the same as I whenever when you talk about this stuff, it is completely relatable to me in a different way. But
Mm,
yeah, sometimes I think, man, I've really put all my eggs in one basket, just like RuneScape. And so
yeah.
when you're not feeling it, 100%, it's like holy shit, like all my eggs are in this basket though. So I kind of I've put myself into this position. Um, yeah, it's hard though because I feel like I've learned a
It's so
lot.
niche too. Sorry to
I
interrupt
know.
you, but
Yeah, you're
it's just
right.
so niche. It's like you're not going to change the world if that's what you want to do, playing RuneScape, and I think that's a
Hmm.
big issue I keep coming back to. So I don't know.
Yeah, a big thing I struggle with is like I have this idea in my mind that I have limited myself and that like I should be doing a lot more in just in life, like doing things, like
Yeah.
going out and like clubbing or just like stuff that is not me. And then I think about it, I'm like, why do I think that I need to do these other things? Like
Or you
what?
go out and do it and you hate it,
Yeah,
like
like you
me, like going
fucking
out and doing the IRL channel and hating it.
yeah, no,
So,
that's exactly how I'd feel. It's like almost as
mhm.
if I'm putting on these pressures that are coming from nowhere. I feel like it's coming from like societal pressure, like
Yeah,
I should be doing this because other people do this kind of stuff and I'm not.
right.
So then and then I make myself feel bad about it because I'm not doing what like most of my friends I think are doing. And I don't even know if they're doing it. Just this idea that like I'm not living my life to the fullest where everyone else is.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, I really should do something else, or I really should explore different options, or learn a new skill, or learn all these things. And deep down, I really don't even want to. I just feel like I need to.
Yes, exactly. I get
God
that
damn
all the
it!
time.
Yeah,
Or you go and do it, and you're just like, this isn't what I thought it would be. It's not.
I
It's not that
know.
great.
I know. Ugh.
This is gonna be a very gothic podcast. It's
It's
very dark.
a therapeutic podcast
Yeah.
for
If you
me.
can't tell, I'm a glass half empty kind of guy, so um, you can have that going on.
You never hear a person say, "I'm a glass half empty guy." Holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question talking about what actually has been happening in game recently, where they've been polling some crazy shit. So, Second Base asks, "What do you think about negative XP lamps? If they were added to the game, how should they work? Should they come from Bounty Hunter or somewhere else?" So, just like in general, what do you think about that whole concept?
I hate them. I hate the concept. I hate everything about it, but it's gonna get added inevitably. They keep pulling it. Um, or they keep trying to do things around that idea, and it's gonna happen. I just hope when it happens, if it has to happen, that it's like a very small amount, like just for people who mess up their like defense by like 1 or 2 levels, like maybe 500 XP maximum, like they initially blogged. And I don't really care where it comes from as long as it's a one-time reward. I did that. I filled out that what was it? It was like a survey on, and it was asking a little bit about negative XP. Really recent, and there was a question even on the survey. I can't even believe this was a question. It said, should negative XP lamps, or like what cap should negative XP lamps have? And the top option was none. And I was like, oh my God. Like, that means you, like, I hope people aren't selecting this, and I don't think the majority of people would be, but I was like, why is this even an option? Like, you can just reset your entire, like, stats down. I'm like, that's just going to cause, like, a whole world of hurt for everyone who's already done everything, a semi-difficult way, or people making prods, even just lowering their HP down for the wilderness, stuff like that. It's just, I believe in, like, if you make a mistake and it really wasn't your fault, which is really hard to do now, I guess you get a second chance, but like maybe 500 XP max, like you're not going to make a mistake over that. And then like, but just try not to make a mistake, and like play the game how it was intended. Quests are intended to give rewards. I just don't like the idea of being able to reverse quest XP. Um, it's just private serverish to me, and I don't know, it's just not like always in the history of account builds people have worked around quest and not done quests for like those specific reasons. So I just really don't like the idea of negative XP, especially don't like the idea of quest XP and lamps. Hate that idea.
Well, why do you think Jagex is so obsessed with pushing this? Because it does feel like
So
it's been a multiple year thing of them kind of teasing it.
yeah, and so I'm in a 10 HP Discord, and I don't really talk much in it, but I'll like frequent it. And there's a JMod actually in there who worked with a lot of the people in there for Poison Dynamite, and setting it up. And so he basically came in this Discord, the recent official account build thing. He was saying like his superiors were really trying to pass this thing forward because they think that by having a way to stop peers from ruining their defense, that they would incentivize them to keep playing, obviously. So that's more membership. And also because official account builds new high scores, you can make a new account, more membership once again. So it's really like money driven incentive from the higher ups. And he was basically saying that like that's why they want us to do this account build thing. And so we were all saying, just don't do it. Just, block defensive styles or something like that, like they do on Runelight, but like in the game. And he's like, oh, well, it's not that easy, and we don't even know how we could code that. That's basically his response. He's like, the game's so jank, it would take us like months of dev time to code in a way to totally block an attack style or
That is
something.
so stupid.
Yeah, so instead, that's why we wanted to put out the account build, because it's a lot easier just to block XP rather than the style. And because we've already done that in like LMS, other places like that. So I think that was a big push. I feel like it's a big push for membership and for people to not, unsubscribe who have maybe messed up their peers. And yeah, I think those are the main reasons. I even suggested like, why don't we just I typed this to him. Why don't we just put a warning on all the quests, and actions that can give you possible XP in something you don't want. And like even like dungeon doors in a POH, you push them open, you get strength XP. Maybe you're 0 strength XP, you don't want strength XP. And I was like, I even told him, I was like, I can go through and give you a list of like probably 99% of the objects and actions that would give you XP in like an unwanted skill. And you could put a warning on them before you do them that you could like toggle off. And then you could put a warning on the quest to give XP that you could toggle off. And then like we find a way to block the defensive style. I'm trying to remember back, but for some reason there was one way he said it might be easier to block a specific style. I can't remember how he said it, rather than all of them. he's like, if it's only defense or something like that, he could do it easier than if he could then alternating between defense, strength, attack.
Yeah.
And so I suggested that to him, and he's like, oh well, I would need it to be 100% accurate. And he's like, and that would take me a long time to manually go in and code all of these objects, all of these quests, to have that warning. So it's really a question of the dev time. It's the easiest thing to do for them is to just add an XP lamp, and that takes the least amount of dev time.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I made a ramble on this. I'm not in the scene, of course, where it comes to restricted account builds and things like that, and what it means to certain players to keep the prestige of, having maintained a really insane account build without having messed up. But when they were talking about it on the blog post, they really, what had come to my mind is what really is the cap, if negative XP lamps come into the game, my initial thought was, first of all, I'm completely indifferent to it. It's just like, I would almost rather it just not be introduced at all than have some weird thing where you could only minus 500 XP. You can only minus this, because then somebody's going to be like 600 XP. It's like, why can't you just minus the other 600? Or then if you raise the cap to 1,000, somebody's going to be like 1,100. It's just like this endless gray line of where do you draw the line. And so I think for a lot of people, I think the fact that option was even on the survey, it's just no cap, is because the simple the simple introduction of this kind of thing means that we're already taking a huge change into the game, like something that we've never seen before, where it's going to affect builds, it's going to affect players' accounts. And at that point, like, why not just have everyone get affected by it? Like, just if you're going to introduce something so crazy like this, like, what's the point of just making it go even crazier and just everybody can decide what stats they have? It's weird. So I think personally, I would just rather it not be introduced at all. I think it's just going to come up with a bunch of garbage that people are just demanding that they get extra XP lamps.
There will be new metas. Like, there will be, okay, like, well, fuck, I should have quested this on my account, my one defense account, so I could reverse the XP back, but instead I accidentally quested this, so I got to start over, resubscribe a new account, and then make a whole new build so I can perfect it once again with this quest done instead of this quest. And it's like, it just makes everything way more confusing than it needs to be. I think is one of the problems I have with it, and it's like, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I just blanked out. But honestly, yeah, there's so many drawbacks to it, and I feel like there could be a better way if they just spend a little bit more dev time, like totally blocking defense or something.
There's totally got to be better ways. And by the way, does do the minus XP lamps work on every skill, or is it just defense? Because if they're literally just making
too. I think they pulled that too, and it was like, should we just make it combat stats? So I don't know.
Because even if it's just combat stats, I mean, what can you just make your HP go from 10 to 5 or whatever it would be, Just,
yeah, it could be a level 2.
I know,
the new level 2 build.
But here's the problem: is as soon as you do that, because I was actually making that point as like, dude, imagine you could just get to 1 HP. But then if there's a cap, then as soon as you're 1 HP, you're just instantly going to start gaining XP again and gain all those levels back instantaneously because it's HP. Unless you're an Iron Man, which, yeah. But I don't know. I think the whole concept just gets really gray and really confusing and really just like there's no, I don't know. I worry about it, I guess. What I was
going to say is like, I now remember, it was like, it's going to be like how RS3 was. Like, did you know the meta for getting a level 3 fire cape on RS3, for like that, like 10 people had done, was to actually go like level their prayer and summoning, because at the time you could only negative XP those skills or something like that. And then they would go and do the quest with summoning and prayer, and then they would go back to the guy in Lumbridge and like reverse their stats back down.
That's so wrong.
And it was capped too, so it's like they had to do it at a certain level, and it's just so convoluted. And it's like people could go and beat like the 39 Combat Inferno record by just going back and grabbing a negative XP lamp,
Oh, that's so true. Yeah, there's some problems. There's some big problems with this. See,
Yeah.
there's things that people don't even think about. It's like minus XP lamps. Yay. Like, okay, like there's no list of things that you've thought of that are pros and cons of a situation, the vast number of cons. It's literally just one question. And so for the average player that has no idea, they don't even play as a niche community member in this game, you know? They have no idea why this is even being pulled. It's just, do you want this? Yes or no?
I think a big one was thralls. So like the way to kill the final boss for, I don't even know what the quest is called, the Corinne quest for thralls. There's a way to do it, but you get some HP XP, and I think the lowest person to do it has like 16 HP, so they could reverse back to 10. And then now all of a sudden, all these 10 HPers have new metas with thralls, and people who might have already spent their like negative XP on something else, like correcting a real mistake,
Shit.
might be just shit out of luck, you know.
That is so, yeah, there's going to be some huge problems with this. Do you think it's going to pass?
Didn't pass last time. I think it'll pass this time if it's under the right, you know, like requirements. Like if there's a decent cap on it, I think it'll pass. And if it's, I don't know. I think it's honestly just in the cap whether or not it'll pass.
Do you think they should come from Bounty Hunter? That was his final question. Or do you think they should just come from something else? Or do you think people should just be given a lamp just on account creation? Like use this whenever you make a mistake or something.
I don't think it really matters, because if someone really wants it, they're gonna get it no matter where it comes from.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not gonna take them that long, I don't think, to get, you know, like I don't think they're gonna put like a 500-hour requirement on it or anything.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. What are your thoughts on a new skill, by the way?
That's kind of like you were kind of like with this at first. I really have no opinion on it. I'm like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at proposed anything about new skill. All I know is that people voted yes for a new skill, whatever that is. And that's all I've heard about it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's going to be a new skill coming to the game. Nobody knows what the hell it's going to be.
Yeah. Is there like a trajectory on that? Like, is there a month it's supposed to come by?
I don't know. I really don't. I think it's just what Aiza said was when they were first pulling it, he reiterated at the Winter Summit like a million times. He was like, guys, like, we are going to make this skill perfect. Like if there's any reason that like some people don't want the skill, like we will go back to the drawing board and like read. It just sounds like this. It needs to be perfect, and the team is
Sounds
so.
like it'll never happen.
That's really what it does sound like. They're very scared because they know that there is a chunk of the player base that never wants a new skill. So they're trying to ease people into it because they desperately, like, they know the money, and like there's a lot that can come from the game for introducing a new skill. They have to do it in like the most polite way ever, and it's just I almost wish. It's tough because this game has a bunch of boomers playing it that don't want to see the game ever change. But it's like, dude, if there's going to be a new skill into the game, no matter what, like I almost wish Jagex would just sort of take it upon themselves and just give us a new skill. And I want it, like just do it, like just do it. I don't know. Instead of this whole thing where we are gonna be disappointed regardless of what happens, especially when you start involving us. Like just fucking give us something.
Yeah, I think there's some things they should just do, and there's some things they definitely shouldn't. So I feel like that's possibly one of the things they should just push forward.
Yeah, it's just gonna change the game so much, and like all the people with max capes are gonna get fucked over.
Oh yeah. It's not me.
I'm not like I've been addicted to my max cape for 3+ years now. This is gonna be a headache for me, but I'm still willing.
Yeah, you just gotta log on for a week, don't go to sleep, and you'll have it back.
They also introduced something at Winter Summit, talking about those like official account build modes. What were your thoughts on that? Where like you?
Oh, that was god awful. I'm glad that failed. And they were gonna revisit it again after it failed. And because so many people were like on Reddit, on Twitter, like, no, like we don't want this, because they tried to push it again, you know. they finally came back and said, we won't be doing this like ever. So that's good news. I'm glad that happened. So I'm not as disappointed in the XP. And now they come up with the negative XP lamp thing right after. So it's like, yeah, now they're going to option 2. So
Yeah,
it's better than what it could have been, in my opinion. So
that's true. And if these fail, there's just gonna be some other thing. Yeah,
oh god, yeah.
it's funny.
And maybe then Nibbler. Stop it. Sorry. Maybe then they'll actually try and, find a way to, like, I don't even know, just disable the defensive stat or something.
That's all they need to do. I feel like this whole thing boils down to people that have fucked up their one defense accounts.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Like, you could genuinely make something where it's like, yeah, I don't know how you've solved the whole issue. I feel like by doing
just make a Ruin Light plugin in the game that blocks the defensive stat.
But so is there just no resolve for those that have fucked up? Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm just like,
in my opinion,
if you fucked up, like you fucked up, and you already knew it, there was no option at the time. There shouldn't be an option in the future,
unless it's their fault and it's through like a legitimate glitch on their end, which is the one time they actually have reversed XP. So I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
It was like when they, for some reason, when they made each type of weapon remember its attack style, and all of them were set to like accurate or something. Whenever you logged in, like they reset.
Oh yeah.
There were people who had like obby maulers with 1 attack. I knew were just like we're training on rock crabs from where they left off, and it's like, oh shit, I'm like 6 attack now. And then you had to submit like a thing in their appeal system to get re-rolled back on XP, and people were submitting it who weren't even affected. And I remember they rolled back a guy who had like 75 defense to 1, and he had like Barrow's gloves still and shit like that. Yes.
Fuck?
And there's still some I'm not even kidding, there's still some 1 defense people from that update. There's like 2 that have Barrow's gloves.
What?
And they can still wield them. Yeah. And and this is why I don't trust them with any of this stuff either, is because they're saying, "Oh, we'll put, with the official account builds, they're like, we'll put like hard requirements on everything, just like the Barrow's gloves do with their 41 defense requirement." I got an account right now that's 40 defense wielding Barrow's gloves. They don't even know their own requirements still, and they're like saying, and they've said it twice, that they have 41 defense requirements in these blog posts, and as an example as to how they've hard wrecked things before. So like, I don't trust them hard wrecking anything. I feel like they're just gonna miss so many little things, like Piety, for example. If you don't think about this, like Piety is now gonna only have a 20 attack rec, and to do King's Ransom, for instance, it would be like, it puts you from 20 to 35 attack. So when corrupt weapons come out, there could be like a whole, and if official account builds came out where you could block XP, there could be a whole new build of like 20 attack, like obby tanks with Piety, which is not a thing at all now. It's like little things like that. There's no obby maulers with ancients because they give 32 attack from Waterfall and Death Plateau. It's just like, there's so many instances of everything they'd have to hard lock behind items and spells, and it's just for them to handle, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a lot. You just gotta not do it. Like, RuneLight can do their own thing. Like, I don't feel like the game should offer minus XP lamps, now that I think about it. I feel like the whole idea is just bad. Okay.
Maybe like, wait, what's like 2 defense? Like 83 XP? Do an 83 XP, negative XP. One time use, but then you probably find people who are able to roll that a few times or something because of some glitch.
Yeah, I don't even know. This it's like, personally I don't care, but I know people that do care about your account, just accomplishments of like doing things crazy for, like keeping your stats really low, being very, very cautious about everything, and then just removing that and just letting people do whatever they want to their stats is just devalues them completely.
One last thing on that topic. Speaking of like that rollback they did, I had like an account way back when, like 2015 or whenever Zaya first came out, and I was trying to like get another lowest level fire cape, of course. and I was trying to get 75 HP through gangsters, hitting like ones on the gangsters for like the little crime booklets that give XP to my HP, because I was trying to get 75 HP for Ring of Suffering, and I was gonna maybe have, you know, like 16 attack by the end of it from hitting ones on the gang lords and like venoming them on an alt and whatnot. So I had this account that was like 60 HP and like 8 attack, and it didn't have membership for 2 years. And they're like, well, you know, in their posts, they're like, we'll like look over anyone who's affected by this bug like individually. So please only, you know, submit an appeal if you were affected. And it's like the requirements to submit an appeal to be negated was like you got to be a member basically, and like or have like a total level. The account didn't have the total level, so I was like, oh, well, I better put on members on this account. It hasn't been a member in 2 years. So it definitely hadn't even logged in 2 years. And I threw it on that form and it got reset from 8 to 1 attack.
That is
So I just
so
have like an
stupid.
HP tier. Yeah, with 60 HP and like 0 XP and everything.
Holy shit. Yeah. Just even you bringing up the fact that there's still like accounts lingering in the game that have Barrows gloves that have one defense or whatever. Like, what is going
Yeah.
on? Yeah. So for those accounts, I'm just curious, can they go around publicly with their Barrows gloves, or would it be very if like a few people reported them, would it just get removed from them? Or are they pretty safe?
They would probably never get removed until they added the defense requirement.
I see.
I feel like they do try and like hide it, but like people have seen it, and like I've seen even Reddit posts on it. Not in a few years, but yeah, and nothing ever happened. So
Okay.
they have defense requirements on Addy and Rune gloves, but they don't have one. They don't have some people still got around it. It's like what was it? It was like Obby Maulers or some account build couldn't get myth gloves normally. I want to say it was like a 10 HP account build because it had to kill the Chompy and Chompy bird hunting. And so a 10 HP one def could alternatively do the scry thing, go into Apatol, do the 8 portion to get myth gloves instead of the Chompy portion. So now you had a 10 HP with myth gloves and 1 defense. So even though there was a hard wreck on Addy gloves, it didn't affect them because they were still able to up a tier of gloves, like through another route and wear myth gloves. There was like weird cases like that, and then like yeah, they forgot to even put a requirement on Barrow's gloves or dragon gloves, and yeah, that's the only fix they ever did, was just add like a 13 def to Addy and 30 or 35 to Ruin. I can't remember which one it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a little bit of a topic switch. Rojo Platino asks, or he says, I remember Verf talking about how he couldn't share his method for his chunk visage. I assume your latest video was the method. How often do unorthodox methods get passed around your certain communities? If you find something, do you keep it close or share?
Depends what it is. Like, so the Verf thing was actually a really funny story. Like, he had messaged me. He's like, "Do you have any idea on how to speed this up?" Because he's like, "I'm killing these dragons like really slowly." And as he messaged me, I'm literally doing the thing on the dragons, the same ones he's trying to kill. And so I, you know, put some thoughts in his head, and he was already doing like half of it. And he's like, "Yeah, I could do that, but it's not really worth it because I can already hit things." He had the cudgel or whatever. He was already getting decent kills. He did like a halfway kind of method of the method. It's like he just grabbed aggro on the dragons, so because he didn't have an anti-fire shield, and he just whacked them, and he would throw a vulnerability to lower 10%, which is kind of what I did. But he didn't have the extra counts venoming on like 2 separate worlds and holding like 2 worlds. So he was probably like maybe double multi-logging with 2 accounts, one holding the aggro and throwing the vulnerability, I think. He did try out the venom method I recommended to him, but I think he said that he was like, it was not really worth it. It maybe gave him like an extra 2 kills an hour or something because he was already like able to kill them pretty quickly. But yeah, like, and we made like a pact after I told him. I was like, don't show anyone this method until like either both of us get the visage. I won't show anyone either.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he stuck by that and he didn't show anyone. He just skipped to the clip where he got the drop like instantly. And he's like, "Oh my god, the visage!" It was pretty funny like watching it knowing that. And there was even a comment about that. He's like, "Wow, visage is just like the visage magically appeared on the ground. Nothing. You didn't even kill a dragon." And so yeah, and he was really cool about it, and we talked a lot about it, and we were like telling each other our kill count every now and then and stuff like that. He was like way ahead of me though. So I think he released that in like September, and then finally I got mine in like February. So
So what were your two KCs? Do you remember his and yours?
he got it at like 12,400 or something. And I was saying, like, if you count my alts just screwing up all the time and killing everything, my actual accounts KC was 10,300, but with like the alt KC and like some of the KC because I was hopping worlds unlike him didn't count if I hopped worlds too late. It was like probably another around 1,000. So I would say we were almost probably at the exact same KC, weirdly enough. It was probably within like a couple hundred of each other.
So
Like 12,200, 12,300, something like that.
when you were approaching 10K and you still hadn't had the visage yet, were you going through dark places in your mind of how long this could take?
And that's when I like one day I just shut it off. I was like, I quit. I had to get on GTA 5 and streamed it. It was like one of the moments. But yeah, it was like I think I had told myself if I get more than what Verf did, like physical KC on the loot tracker on this account, I was probably gonna like take a long break. And I was about 2,000 off that on the loot tracker, so it's getting pretty close. But
What was the feeling? I know I like I watched the video and everything, but deep down, what was the feeling like seeing that visage on the ground?
I was just screaming, "Oh my god!" It's just like I didn't know how to really react. It was just like I didn't really think it was real. Like I don't know. It just um, it's like when you least expect it too. Because I wasn't even paying attention. I was like blaring like System of a Down or something, and I was like looking over and like I look to my left and I see this pop up and I'm like, "What's that?" And it took me a second to register, and I like pressed record a bit too late because of it. Because I was confused as to what was popping up on my screen. Like I forgot I was even like going for a visage at that point. I was just mindlessly killing things. So
Holy shit.
yeah, I feel like that's what it is usually. You only get what you want when you least expect it.
Dude,
you're not really thinking too hard about it.
It's totally true. I mean,
I just got a beaver pet yesterday, and I was like,
congrats.
I went to the woodcutting guild for 30 U logs to make U longbows to put in my bank for elite clue steps. So I went to cut 30 logs, and I just get a fucking beaver. I was like, what the hell, man?
I remember getting a duplicate beaver at the Aki trees south of Castle Wars.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, I chopped a few just to get some like ogre arrows or whatever, and I got a beaver.
Yeah,
I had like a duplicate. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, you're right about that whole like when you least expect it, that's when you get it. Because that was me with my Inquisitor's mace like a couple years back, and just this past week I got third age Vambraces, and obviously it's the worst third age piece you could get.
At least you got something, I guess.
But at least it wasn't a dupe because I already had 3 third age pieces. So like
okay.
The fact that I could get a dupe, like that would be way more heartbreaking than getting like just a shitty piece, you know what I mean?
Collection log slot.
Yeah. But like seeing that collection log pop up when you don't expect collection log pop-ups ever.
Yeah.
And you see you're what is happening? Like just that brief moment of just like what am I looking at?
And I had already gotten like the shield and the spear. So that was literally the only thing that could have popped up, and I just didn't even think about it. Yeah, it's just like what's going on?
That's cool. Yeah,
I don't know how I got the spear, by the way. That was like a 1 in 22k, and I got it at like 2k KC or something.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And I can never wield it because I'm one attack. So
yeah, that's got to be awful knowing that's like twice the rarity of a visage. Ugh. Yeah, that's really where the magic comes back with RuneScape, at least in my head.
Right.
Like
I had a really fun time the couple weeks after that. I was just doing whatever.
Yeah. It's something about like you forget what the grind's all about. You're like why am I doing this? And you just I get in my head about like this is so fucking pointless. And then you get like that dopamine rush that you haven't felt in a while, and you're like, oh yeah, like that's what I've been looking to feel. Like that's why RuneScape's so addicting, because of feelings like that. So
yeah, it's all like a gamble. Like a giant gamble.
I know.
It's like any second anything could happen. So it's like
I know.
yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, there's something really awesome about I'm totally addicted to clue scrolls, and I still think to myself, just because there's been a few moments in history where people have gotten 2 third age pieces in one casket.
Oh yeah, that'd be insane.
Like just the thought that at any point that can happen. It won't, but but it could.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? Has anyone ever gotten like a Bando's boot or an Armadillo helm drop from like those elite clue like mobs? You know, the ones
yeah,
that
it's one in a million.
It's 1 in a million. Yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, imagine if I somehow like got Bando's boots on like a defense pier off 1 in a million drop on one of those.
Well,
because I can't get into God Wars dungeon on this account. I can't kill Bandos. It's like the only way I can get a piece of Bandos.
Dude, that would be crazy if you got that.
Yeah.
There 100% is people that get it. In fact, there was a post on Reddit. I need to find it again. There was a dude claiming, again, no proof, but why the hell would you post something like this? He literally claimed that he got 2 different drops. He got 2 different Arma helms from Elite Steps on the same account. Like he had that happen twice to him on one account.
That just seems
which
like
is
impossible.
that seems extremely
like winning the lottery, dude.
Improbable.
It's literally winning the lottery.
Thing is, okay, so I've done like 1,500 elites, and I probably kill 2 minions on average per elite, maybe even 3, but even if it's just 2. So like I'm at 3,000 out of a 1 million chance.
It's not bad.
I could get it one day. No, but it won't. But yeah, there's definitely people that got. Didn't somebody get the 1 in 100 million Onyx from Motherlode Mine? You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
They unleashed a bag of gems from Motherlode Mine that you can buy, and there is a 1 in 100 million chance.
Why does that even exist?
I don't know, but somebody actually got it. I think.
What?
Like somebody actually got the Onyx, and there was like actual proof, and like Jagex tweeted it out or something like that. Like somebody finally got it.
That's crazy.
100 million. Like what? Actually, it was less than that, because it was 1 in 100 million per like actual gem, but you get 40 gems out of one, so it was like 1 in 2.5 million technically.
Oh, yeah,
per bag. It's expensive though. Anyway, yeah. Dude, and then you see those, I know I'm just going on a whole ramble about like rare drops. You see those like people that get 4 Barrows drops in one chest? Like on Reddit.
That was me.
Like, dude, what the fuck? Like that's so rare. It's stupid. Okay. Let's see. So here's a couple topics from I Ate Too Late. He asks, what are some of the more interesting times you've been recognized in game? And have you lost any accounts to things like people seeing you perform a manip or being somewhere you shouldn't? So I guess he's kind of going back to your like sitting up on towers and waiting for the force log and all that shit. Yeah.
Dude, just the other day I was mining at the 3 spot of iron in like the Fossil Island area because I didn't have mining guild access yet. But anyways, I was mining there, like just minding my own business, and then one guy just walks over to me and he's like, and no one knows this account's RSN really. He's like, it took me 10 minutes, lol. And I didn't know he was even talking to me. And I just put like a question mark, and he's like, then he just says 1 strength bonus and then runs away. It's like, okay. So I guess he's like referring to the 1 strength bonus video I just put out. I don't know. But like people do like find my accounts all the time in game, and especially I'm not like trying to be found, obviously. So but never really while I'm doing anything weird. I'm trying to think, like there was a time when I had all these level 3s at like Trouble Brewing with the scry, like they scried onto Mostly Harmless because normally you can't get there as level 3. And I was like setting them up to set up games because I literally did not have enough accounts with Cabin Fever done to do it normally whenever I was trying to stack interfaces back in the day. And like people, I think maybe one person ever said something. They're like, "How's level 3 here?" And then I just logged out. Like there was no,
Just log out.
there was no like ban or anything from that, or
Yeah.
yeah, no one. I feel like in the most bizarre cases, no one ever saw me, like that I know of. I don't think anyone ever saw me at the mushroom on the top of the church. Even though Bodhi mentioned that was a achievement diary step that I didn't even know about. Um, I don't think anyone noticed me there, and I was there for like 40 hours. So I had like that chat plugin on where you could like you could see like timestamp chat messages from when you logged out and stuff, and no one said anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I've had people like just be oblivious too, to things, and like for instance, I did a thing before where it's gonna come out in the next video, kind of a spoiler, but I had like 40 accounts in one location wearing the most stupid looking shit ever, like running all around. And this guy is just on his DK task and he just doesn't even say anything. He just goes up and down the ladder. Like, doesn't even pay attention to what's going on around him. Doesn't ask anything. Those are the real, like, cool guys, you know? They just, they mind their own business. They're like, okay, yeah, there's just 30 guys in granite right over here. That's fine. Had it all look like noobs with, retribution up and shit. But,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
no, some people say nothing. Most people don't even really see. There's a weird instance of like, I think he asked, what else did he ask? When did something get like fixed or something? Banned? Um, I don't know, this might relate. But like, so there was one day where I was testing if one of these force teleports still worked. And it was on like the dig site rock where you light it, and it was how I got back to the underground area of the dig site. And it worked. I was testing it to make sure it worked because I was gonna do like another fucking heist out of LMS like on the next update. And it worked literally 1 hour, and I did one last test like before I was about to start the process, and it didn't work any longer. And so
Oh.
there, yeah, so like there's literally like hours in between of me testing things where something will work and it won't. And that's when I kind of got paranoid because I thought people were like watching what I was doing like every second of the day or something. And like JMods, and I actually like had this confirmed by multiple JMods who have since left Jagex that they would literally come, like they would see like, hey, Rendi is on this world, let's see what he's doing.
Oh
And
god.
they would go and see me, and the person I talked to, they said like, they're like, oh, look, he's like wrapping like 500,000 mushrooms now. And then the other JMod they talked to was like, yeah, like we can't even like ban him because it'll be at the end of the queue of the mushrooms. So he's literally not going to be able to get banned for another, 20 hours. And so they're just like observing this going on.
Holy
And
shit.
that's why like, some things will just be fixed within like an hour or two sometimes. And I guess it just depended if they were in office or not or cared to look, but it's kind of like a hobby thing, I guess, for some of them. But no, there was that, and then there was like another person who asked, like, what if he used this mushroom to go to like through a system update? Like, would it cause any issues? And apparently, they said like they had the idea as well that I did, where it would like they didn't have the idea they would cut off queues and be able to like disable the per XP drop from like Priest and Peril or anywhere else, but they had the idea that maybe something's gonna go wrong with like the game if he like pulls one of these 40-hour stalls into an update. But they're like, oh yeah, nothing happened, so whatever. And so I guess I don't know why they didn't just like ban me on the spot, honestly, in those instances, but I guess it's because they didn't want to bother waiting 40 hours or something. I
Wow.
don't know exactly, but yeah, that's kind of like the weird instances of kind of not people seeing me, but like JMod seeing me, and then like things getting fixed kind of quickly.
Do you
And
sorry.
it was
Yeah.
only when I was on like my real IP, I think. So
Mm.
like I VPN sometimes. I never heard stories like that about some of the things I was doing on my VPN, and Mahler was doing some other things, and he never got like cracked, it seemed like, and things weren't getting fixed an hour after him, just me, whenever I was on like my actual AP. And there was another thing that happened. Like during that period of time, I quit for a long time because that's when I was like really fed up over all that stuff. And I quit in like July, and I came back in December, and I got back on, and I realized like one of the hard actions still worked, right? So I tested it out, and I wrapped like I found another wrappable ending quest dialogue, which was troll stronghold, and I sat there and like wrapped it, and I wanted to test if I could like get an anger weapon and have it still equipped after an update or something like that. And I wrapped like 5,000 troll stronghold quest rewards, and I found out that it didn't work. But anyways, the next day I tried it for something else. And keep in mind, I've been off for like 6 months of the game, and the next day, Troll Stronghold never like wrapped. Like the quest dialogue just never wrapped anymore, and the hard action was fixed. So I'm like, that's kind of scary. Like I get off for 6 months, and then I get back on, and then instantly they're looking at me again, and they're fixing exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, just some really weird cases of that.
Do you think that like people at Jagex don't like you?
It depends. The people who have to like put up with the shit that I do, yeah, definitely. Like I've seen some even like leaked DMs between Jagex employees. Like there was one about the 9-9 attack video, and it was like, I'm not gonna say the name of who the people are talking in the DM, but it was like a group chat of like 4 people, and they were like, "Oh, it's Rendi put out another video again," and it's like, what's he doing this time? One person asks, the other person asks, like, oh, just same thing, but in a different instance, he's wrapping quest XP, and he gets 99 attack. They're like, I don't even know why I watch these videos. They just make me angry.
Wow.
Yeah, so I definitely know some of them don't like me, but
That's so like why would that? I don't know. Maybe
it makes sense. Like I make their job harder, or at least I did. And they would have to go and fix some things. I remember there was like a Reddit thread. Can't remember what I responded to. Something, and it was like mod. I think you might have mod Nin, Jagex Nin replied on this Reddit thread. Because I had said like they'd fix things, but they didn't know how to fix the core problem for like 6 months, and that was kind of like actually what happened. And he's like, sorry, not all of us have time to track where you're going at every second and fix all of these bugs, these little bugs you're doing. They're not always our top priority. And he replied with that. So I know like definitely that peeves him a bit.
Yeah.
Because they do have to fix things. And my counter argument to that would be just like the way I'm using these could be 100 times worse. Like if someone else found this, which I know other people have in the past, and they've used them for much worse things, you should probably fix those things rather than not prioritize them, in my opinion, because they can be used for a lot of harmful things in the game.
Yep. Yeah, I always think of that little meme of Drake and Josh, where Josh is like, Rendi.
Yeah. I just try and stay away from all that stuff now, though. It's like I'm not really that interested either, because I'm actually trying to progress an account. I'm trying not to get banned, so
Yeah.
I'll do little questionable Iron Man methods and stuff like that, but nothing like full blown insano. So
Yeah. So his I ate too late second question is, what are the top trophy accounts that you've made, and what are other people's that you know of? Like when it comes to trophy account, like what are the best trophy accounts that you know of, and yours? The account you're working on right now is already
Diddy Boy account. 1.
What?
Diddy Boy 1.
Diddy Boy 1.
Did you hear about that?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Same password everywhere. You didn't hear about that? It was all over like Reddit and Twitter.
I must have missed it.
Bad.
Fuck.
It's like number 1 skiller. He got hacked, and now he's like 30 attack, 30 strength, 30 defense. And he has like 10,000 hours of game time.
What happened exactly?
Like 5,000 hours at Varrock Museum lamping.
So he got hacked.
Yeah, on everything. Yeah, they even hacked his Twitter and like posted on it or something.
Gee, yeah, I didn't know that. I just thought I had seen that post because now the name's ringing a bell. But was it because
Yeah,
he posted, or was it because of something that he got hacked, or what
I
happened?
don't I don't know. It's just well, they changed his username to
Oh,
same password everywhere. So I'm assuming it was something to do with that. And then they went on his Twitter and said something about like no authenticator set anywhere, or like no
shit.
authenticator on email, and like they like posted all this stuff just ragging on him. And I felt really bad for that guy because that guy's put like his whole life into that account pretty much. And
Yeah.
yeah, but that account actually was really good. It was obviously rank 1 skiller, and it had 99 Slayer, like 5,000 hours of lamping on it.
Jesus. Is it actually
Yeah,
5,000 hours to do that?
I think it might be more actually. I think
My
it might be like
God.
5,600 or something like that.
Is museum like it's not difficult. It's just really AFK.
It's less than 2K an hour, and it's kind of AFK now. Yeah, before they made an update to it, it was like you had to click every rock, and it was really bad before. But yeah, now
2K
it's
XP an hour. Holy
yeah, that's like max too. I would say it's between 1 and 2K. It's really random based on how many lamps you get.
my God. Yeah, I do feel bad. That's horrible.
Yeah, yeah, but he had a really nice account. Personally, my accounts, I would have to say, I had this one account that was really cool called Rabid Ape Pier, and, and it had 70 million attack XP with nothing else. That one bug. And now it's banned. Anyways, there was that. There was I like that account I had that had Inferno Cape level 3, and it had like a Hosta level 3 because normally you need the strength requirement, the 35 strength requirement, and then it also had the Mind Helmet and the Mind Shield from Mage Arena 2, which requires 26 magic, which was boosted through LMS 2, and I think it even had Family Crest gauntlets. It boosted the blast spells for Family Crest, and it got like 2 magic from it, but it was still 3 combat. So it had all these like insanely impossible things to get. And I still do have a couple level 3s that have Mage Arena 2 done without the mage requirement, but that one got banned because it had the Inferno Cape and everything else on it. Um, Another one I made was like it's not as impressive now. It's like a 10 HP Mage Arena 2 lowest combat account. I never really touched it after the video on it. But now, speaking of other accounts, there's a guy who recently did it with 0 HP XP, 10 HP, and he has a really cool count. It's 1 prayer, 1 defense as well, 10 HP. It's just, I really like 10 HP accounts. Almost anyone with a decent 10 HP peer has a pretty awesome account, in my opinion. Um, Level 3 fire capes, obviously, are cool trophy accounts. Um, I actually have a trouble brewing set on my level 3 fire cape account, and like a what is it called, like the mime beret mask, and like the hook hand, and the combined with, what even is it, the crab claw.
Yeah.
So I had what is it called, I had Mossly Harmless access on that account when Scrying was working, and I also scryed into Priest and Peril area, Mortania area. It didn't have Priest and Peril done like other level 3s I've had, but because I didn't want to, risk that account getting banned, because I realized other ones were getting banned for Priest and Peril at the time. But it did have the ability to scry into Mortania, so it has coffins as a level 3 without prayer, and it has like all the soundtracks from like Mortania, and
That's
like scry
cool.
walking all around. And I want to say any account with like um Temple of Ikov completed with like the, what was it called, the like the knife arrow trick or whatever you want to call it, where you just wield the ice arrows and knife the boss and recoil it, is a pretty cool account, because I don't think you can do that anymore. Poison dynamite doesn't even work on the boss. So yeah, there's a lot of just really unique, like kind of like extinct accounts out there that not just myself but other people have. And I think that's what makes a like a trophy account really cool, is when you have something that literally is impossible to get.
I kind of want to. I don't know. There's something about trophy accounts that's really appealing to me. It's just like the amount. I mean, I guess I don't know. When I think of trophy accounts, they have to be some weird build because I think maybe people could argue maybe my Iron Man's a trophy account just simply because like it collects a lot of rares from clues, but it doesn't feel like a trophy account because it's a max
Yeah,
main or maxed
I
iron.
mean, I guess you could call it that. When I think of trophy accounts, when someone says that, though, I just think of like
Crazy builds.
weird skillers, crazy builds that have like
Yeah.
semi-extinct items or really hard items to get like a champion's cape even at like low combat or something.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of
What?
those actually now. There was even people I knew who back in the day would scry to Mortania, and if you went far enough west, you wouldn't have the Abador Crane guy kick you out because you were in a different map square. So there are people I knew who we would put their accounts in Mortania for them, and we would set them up near ghouls, and
Mm.
they would get a one prayer champions cape because
Wow.
they could camp the western part of ghouls endlessly without getting kicked out, and they could pull like a ghoul champion scroll. Like it's just little things you
Holy.
don't think about like that. Like you need prayer for a champions cape and stuff like that.
I
That's really
wonder what
cool.
the lowest combat for a champion's cape is.
Um,
It's
currently,
they've got to just be 99 range, right? And everything else has got to be
yeah,
like
currently I think it's just people who have cannoned it all with 10 HP and won everything else. So it's like 50 combat, I want to say.
okay.
There might be someone with a little bit less, like 80 something range, with like 40 something combat. I
So
knew of I knew of a defense peer trying to go for it that did get a ghoul scroll with like one prayer, and I don't think he continued though because it's such a long grind. Like I was killing ghouls the other day on my defense peer, and I just want to see how many I could kill an hour. Is like 20. So for
holy
one
shit.
for one scroll, it could
That's
be like 1,000
horrible.
hours or something terrible. Yeah.
Wait, so how many hours would it be for you to get a champion's cape on your account?
I've been thinking about it, dude. It would be like,
Like how many fucking hours? Oh
I
my
want to say
god.
like 5,000.
Whew. And that's if you go
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah. It's
Imagine
really
you.
the worst things would be like lesser demons, ghouls, and jokers because those have high defense. You have to poison them and
Yeah.
keep stabbing them.
Dude, is that ever on the like on the list of like
I've been
things?
thinking about it,
Dude,
honestly.
a DFS and a champion's cape. Like, what the fuck?
I was
Like,
thinking if I get like a Jad pet, and a fire cape, then I can just, say fuck the fire cape. I got a Jad pet out. Then I just go get a champion's cape or something
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh, wait. So wait, how long does a fire cape take? Like, if you were to grind out the pet on your account, you know
The
what I mean?
pet or a cape?
Getting,
The cape.
yeah, just like a cape, but then obviously like,
So I'm trying to get the more strength bonus because it's really gonna cut the time by like a third. And I wanted to get multiple capes honestly. So yeah, I would say like I haven't done like a hard estimate, but just you have to relog so much because you got to double poison the 360s, and if you don't get the second poison off before he starts regening, which happens almost all the time with one attack, then eventually if you're like at 5 hours and he hasn't been double poisoned, you're like fuck, I gotta relog for one wave. So it could
ugh.
take you like 12 hours, 18 hours of relogs to do one wave.
What the fuck?
Yeah. If you're really unlucky, it could maybe take you more than like 20 hours to do one wave and like
What
post 30.
the fuck?
So I'm thinking like uh this is really rough estimate, like 200 hours for a cape.
Oh my
But maybe
god.
if I get the extra strength bonus, I could cut it down to like 130ish. I don't know.
So going for a pet is just like stupid. Like that just has to come from like the
Okay,
first.
here's the crazy thing. What if
Okay.
I got right now I was doing Slayer for an elite clue step, like 65 Slayer to kill whatever devil I can, smoke devil, dust devil, whatever the 65 one is.
Yeah.
Um, and I was getting like 4K Slayer XP an hour doing it with like a Venom alt, on average with Vanica tasks because I don't want to go to Wildy Slayer because I'm hardcore and fuck that. So I was doing that about 4K XP an hour. If I get 99 Slayer, I can use any master, right? So I spend years getting 99 Slayer. I unlocked Tazars through another Slayer master because you can't do it through Vanica. And then I go and do like a fight cave task, so I get the half rate for a pet.
Yeah, but you could never. Wait, are you able to wear a black mask or no? That's not even possible, right?
No, it wouldn't help with that. It would just help for the pet rate. If I was
Okay, just
actually
the
going
rate
for a
itself.
pet,
Yeah.
I was trying to calculate whether it'd be worth it to get 99 Slayer at like 4 to 5 kicks an hour, and like then go for Jad Pet rather than like, because I don't know, either way it would take thousands of hours.
Yeah.
And either way it's probably like realistically impossible. But I was just wondering which would be quicker.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I really like this account, because it's like there's things that are possible on it, but it's like, are they? Are they possible? I don't
It's
know.
like it's possible, but and the flex is so massive, just the time commitment is unreal. But there still is that element of like you could just get the Jad Pet first KC. You could just get pretty lucky on a Champions Cape.
And if I did that, then I'd be. If I got really lucky and got like a Jad Pet like first 3 KC or something, then I'd probably 100. Okay.
So I'm tedious on Twitter. I mean, like, you know, the YouTuber. He on Twitter he has posted at least a couple times about the idea of like more Champions capes, like Heroes capes, not Heroes cape, but like different challenges, like the Champions challenge, but then there would be like a Legends challenge and like Heroes challenge, and like whatever it is, but just more of those that are higher tier monsters. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, I can't even get into the Heroes Guild, so I don't think that'd be an issue for me. Wouldn't even be like a if it's not even like a probability, then I don't even think about it, you know?
I actually am a real big fan of that idea, mainly because it takes no dev time whatsoever. It's literally just add a drop to some monsters. But I was thinking, dude, like Greater Demons could be on there. Green Dragons could be on there. Like just slightly more advanced monsters, you know, rather than just like killing imps. And like there's a plethora of just different monsters you could put on there. And then it would be the same thing, one in 5,000, and get the new cape that could look really fucking dope. I don't know, there's just something about when I went for my Champions cape, I genuinely enjoyed it. It was actually fun. I think part of it is just getting to a late stage in the game where you're just fucking bored. So you just do something stupid like that. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. And doing another one of those challenges that's even bigger slightly sounds pretty fun. I'm not.
Are those on the collection log?
Yeah, Champions Cape is.
Okay, cool.
And all the scrolls. So
are you going for a collection log completionist?
Dude, okay. When it comes to nobody will ever complete the collection log. Nobody ever will. And for those that think it might happen, it just won't, because whenever anybody gets close, they could just add new updates. And
true.
In the next like year or two, there's definitely going to be a new Clue expansion. They've already teased it. There's rumors on it. And you know for a fact they're going to introduce new Third Age or something, you know, something that's really crazy. And so whenever anybody gets up like, oh my God, I'm only 5 collection log slots away 40 years from now, it's like there's going to be 300 more. So
maybe if they can catch up to the update in time. So they can have it for a solid like 1 week, and then they release more things that are impossible.
The only person that can, when I think realistically, could complete the collection log, even though I still am very, very certain that it won't ever be completed, is Hey Jace. Because he takes the game so seriously. And he goes so hard, and he plays so consistently. And he just does like, the dude's done 30,000 hard clues. I mean, like, he's 200 mil all. It's just a fuck ton of boss KC on everything. He's
actually going for like Third Age pieces through hard clues.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten 9 pieces so far or something, I think. Which it makes you think, okay, like this guy could actually do it. But then you have to remember that you can't just get all Third Age pieces from hard clues. You have to eventually start doing masters.
Yeah.
And he's only done like 3,000 masters. And it literally is something, I think it's along the lines of you'd have to do like 90,000 masters or like 100,000 masters to get all Third Age. Maybe it's even higher, but I think it was around 100,000.
My God.
So when you've only done 3,000 and you have to do 100,000, and that's just like for rate, it's like, this isn't feasible. It's still cool though. Like I like people going for it. I was kind of going for a collection log just because it was naturally happening. When the collection log first came out, I was already like top 10 iron. It just seemed
Really?
like that. I just had done so much because I was playing a lot. And
I haven't even paid attention to the collection log existing until like the last year, literally. Like, I forget it was even a thing, except for Tedious's series.
it's fun to go for, but then there's just things that I just don't want to touch, and I'm like, yeah, it just puts me off of doing it.
Hmm.
But it's still cool that it's a thing, and it's still cool to get those like pop-ups. And Idol, right?
Yeah.
He made a short, like a little YouTube short, talking about a plugin that he's making, which is everything is a collection log pop-up. So like you kill your first goblin, that chef's hat's a pop-up, the bones are a
Oh my
pop-up,
god.
the 3 GP is a pop-up.
That would be good for like chunk locked people, you know?
That sounds so fun as long as it's just a one-time repeatable. It's just like boom, like
Yeah,
that's
it
it. Don't
doesn't pop
keep
up every time.
yeah, don't keep doing it. But if you had
Yeah.
every item, like whoo, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wonder how many items are in the game, like from drops, like what the collection log number would be,
Yeah.
like 30,000 or something stupid. I have no idea.
What is it even now? It's only 1,400.
I have no idea. It's probably not even close to 30,000. Just pulling a number out of my ass. Okay, so Sekon asks, favorite memory from the podcast you started with Cam back in 2019/2020.
Okay, so yeah, we started a podcast. Downtown Tulsa, we rented out like an office space. It was month to month because I didn't know if it was going to be long term or not. And we had like live guests on. We ran it for only 2 months, so it wasn't long term. Kind of went off because Cam was going to go back to New Zealand and get like a longer visa, and then COVID, I think, hit. Or was it? No, it wasn't COVID. It was something with the government shutdown or something in 2018. I don't know. He couldn't get it. So then I kind of ran it on my own for a bit, and like I literally drove to an office downtown and like started doing like infernos to try and keep the thing alive in like a podcast room, on stream, and it was okay. Like we were getting like 50 to 60 viewers, I'd say on average a stream. It was like a live Twitch podcast.
Mm.
And I like rebranded my Twitch channel to CoCast Live, which is what it was called. And applied for partnership because I met the Rex barely, got denied because we didn't do it long enough. And after that, just kind of gave up on it. But yeah, the best memory. There were a lot of good memories, but I was heavily intoxicated during every single one of them with Cam, pretty much, and we had gotten like this random guy from my YouTube at the time who was like, I only had 5,000 subs from like 10 years of PK video uploads, and I put out a video on this channel, my dead channel at the time, saying like if anyone's from Tulsa, like come on this podcast with us. And some guy actually responded. He's like, yeah, I didn't know you lived in Tulsa. He's like, oh, come on. So I had this random dude from like my hometown come downtown in the middle of the night, because we only ever woke up at like 7 p.m. and we would run this thing like at night because for some reason this office space allowed like 24/7 access. And we just got extremely like obliterated with this random dude from my YouTube, and we think we tried to like teach him Inferno or something, and he couldn't do anything. And I don't know, there was a bunch of just weird experiences like that. And he tried to get us to go to get donuts afterwards at like 3 a.m. And I was like, no, I really don't want donuts. And then that's the last time I ever saw him. And
Damn, you denied donuts. Is savage.
I think he was mad about the donuts because I tried to talk to him after that. And when we first told him like we didn't want to go get donuts, I think he thought that like we just didn't like want to like hang around him or something. But in reality, I just didn't want donuts, man. And so yeah, that was a weird experience. There was another one where me and Cam had this idea where like, dude, fill up this, like we had like one of those whiskey bottles with like the glass ones that you like put the cap on and you fill like whiskey glasses with, like I forgot what it's called, a decanter, I think. And Cam was like, dude, you should fill that up with like black tea and just tell people we're just like drinking mass amounts of whiskey on this podcast. And this one guy came in the chat. He's like, I'll donate you like $50 right now if you down that whole thing. And he got up on the podcast table and he literally like chugged it. And then and the most fucked up thing was I had a friend on the podcast at the time who played RuneScape, and he thought it was real. Like he wasn't in on the joke the whole time. And he just started acting extremely drunk, and like the whole thing was an act. And like we shut the podcast off, and he's like, this guy's a nurse now. And he's like, are you okay? Like, dude, do you need to see like a doctor or something? Like, that was a shit ton of whiskey. And he's like, and he was like, I'll drive. And he's like, no, you won't. And he like freaked out when we opened the door. And he's like, dude. And we like 3 hours later, we opened the door, shut the podcast off, went downstairs. Yeah. And he's like, I'll drive. And he's like, dude, you're drunk as shit. And he's like, dude, we haven't drank anything. Like, we were literally just drinking tea that whole time.
Oh my God.
My friend that were with us just like mind blown. He's like, no, you that was real. Like, you guys were acting drunk that whole time you were on that podcast. And we're like, no, like this is literally like tea. Like, this isn't even real. And so yeah, there were some crazy moments like that. Just ridiculousness, and it was a good experience, but it pretty much failed in the end. So I guess you learn from that not to throw a bunch of money into something you have no idea like what you're doing.
Yeah. But do you miss podcasting? Or was that never really?
No. I'd say no. I feel like that was more of his thing than mine.
I see.
Although I don't know, sometimes it's like that fantasy thing we were talking about earlier. It's like maybe I do, and then I'll probably go and do it and hate it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like every now and then too. Lately, I've been wanting to stream, and I'll go on and stream, and I'll be like, yeah, I really don't like talking to people. I don't like having to interact with people. It takes so much like effort.
The idea of it's always way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very introverted, so doing like a podcast really drains me.
Yeah.
Generally, but the fact that I only do it once a week, it's like it's just enough.
Yeah, I can feel that. Like, I haven't hardly talked to anyone at all in a week, so like I'm good. But if you were to like want me to come on and do this again the next day, I'd be like,
yeah,
just
every day doing. Oh my God, yeah, that would be way too much. Yeah, it's just the once a week thing, and it's always variety. It's always getting somebody on that I haven't talked to, so it doesn't ever feel like the same thing. But yeah, interesting. Speaking of Secon though, just briefly, he was on the Sae Bae cast twice actually, and yeah, I miss that dude. Hope he's well.
You haven't talked to him?
I think I last talked to him like a month ago or so, but
okay.
He might come down and visit Oregon.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Because isn't he in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's in school.
Is he West Coast or East Coast Canada?
I'm pretty sure he's West Coast.
Oh, so that's probably not that far from you. Yeah. That'd be cool.
I'm so unfamiliar with Canada. I'm genuinely like, but yeah, he's definitely West Coast.
Is he British or French?
Whatever
Does he
he
speak
is.
French?
I don't think so.
Probably West Coast. Huh?
Yeah, it's definitely West Coast because he teases the idea of coming down, and it sounds like it's less of a hassle just to go to Oregon.
And so, like, you're all moved in though?
Yeah, it's fucking nice, man. Like,
yeah.
It really is. It's stressful in a way because because like one, my bills are a lot higher, so I don't have as much just play around money. I actually have to like really dial in, I guess, on my finances.
You gotta
like
grind, man.
Yeah, I have to start taking things more seriously. Mainly, I haven't ordered food in a month.
Oh, it hurts.
Which I was severely addicted to DoorDash. Like,
yeah, I feel like everyone is
severely. Like I would sometimes order twice in one day, and it would be like extra stuff. Like I'd get DoorDash, I get Double Dash too. You know, I'd get like shit from.
The good thing
Walgreens
about
and
living
stuff.
out here is there's no one that even does DoorDash. Like, because there's not enough people who live in this town to DoorDash anything. Like I was spending tons of money on like Uber Eats and DoorDash back in the city, but like now I don't even have the option to. So
Yep. It's a little bit more inconvenient here to do it anyway. So on top of me trying to save money and trying to just eat a little bit better, the apartment building I live in is locked from the outside. So if I ever do get an order, what I started getting so addicted to DoorDash to the point where I would just order things and I'm like high as a kite because I knew I didn't have to actually interact with anybody. I was just like, okay, the food's just gonna be dropped off and I can just grab it whenever. But now if I order food,
You got to make sure you open the door for them and go down there.
It's like yeah, like I have to go out of my apartment into the hall, down the staircase, outside.
That's exactly how mine was.
And like try to find somebody. And the worst part is like my apartment complex isn't even on Google Maps yet. It's like it just shows a patch of grass, and so people are driving around like because I have ordered twice here. But it was like the first week I'd moved in, and it was the most inconvenient thing. I'm literally looking around for this dude driving around. I'm like, dude, this is such a headache.
They have to walk like a block down the street just to find his car or something.
Yeah.
I've had to walk around an entire apartment complex to like find my driver before when I was doing that. Yeah, it's a headache.
It's a headache. So I've just understood, like, you know what? This is a blessing in disguise. Let me just not order. Let me just delete all this shit and just start cooking. So, but yeah, living alone's really nice in comparison to. I don't know. I feel like
I'm scared to live alone.
I've always been like really introverted and like pretty homebodied anyway, so I can live alone. And when I lived with my brothers out in Alabama, they would work all day anyway, so it was almost like I was living alone. But there's something about living with other people that you kind of just start
hating them.
It's a little bit, but it's kind of like you just know things could be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that idea of like, I could have my own personal space. I could clean up after myself. I don't have to worry about other people's shit everywhere. I could just, there's something about that was so appealing to me. And it has been really great here, but it's a lot quieter too. I'm just like, just sit here and I can hear my breathing. I'm like, holy shit.
Do you have people over there like you can get a hold of like in person?
Yeah, I had a buddy come over actually yesterday.
That's cool.
All right. Wait, no, that was 2 days ago. But yeah, he came over and we did stuff. That was fun.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Okay, I just gotta ask. I've asked my past 3 guests. Have you ever done mushrooms?
No, I cannot fuck with psychedelics, man.
Wow.
Like at all.
I thought for sure you had.
No,
like,
definitely not. Like I'm already on psychedelics like 24/7 just in my normal state, dude. It's fucked. I can't even like smoke weed anymore or anything. I just too many thoughts, too much going on. Already in a bad space most of the time.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess
everyone I've ever talked to as well, they're like, don't ever do psychedelics. You're like the worst person that could do it. Like, who knows me in person? Like,
really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Is that just because
they know I literally have like panic attacks every day and have to go lay down and like clear my mind and like I have like constant existential thoughts like about anything and everything. So
wait. So you've never done a psychedelic?
No. And although it would probably like help me or something, you know, as some people say,
the risks are there though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've listened to tons of trip reports, like just because I'm interested, but I know like I probably should never touch something like that. And I have like bad mental health history too, like in my family.
Damn.
So you've heard of people like going like full schizo, like who have like genetically, the possibility of that happening. I don't even, that sounds scary as hell. So.
Oh yeah, that's not something to like. That's good, and that's good that you're aware of your own state, and you can almost see the risks without having even done it. So that's good for you. Yeah. Wow.
I have that constant fear of like not being in control of myself too, and like I feel like I don't know. That would just trigger it because you're really not in control at that point.
Yeah, if you are
especially if you like lose your ego and oh god, that's like a major fear of mine.
That shit's not fun to deal with, even if you're like completely like don't have any problems. Like, yeah, but interesting. Yeah, I think panic attacks are like the biggest. if you suffer with panic attacks, that can definitely be like the biggest red flag of like just don't do psychedelics because
Yeah, like I can't even hardly go to Walmart, dude. Like I go to Walmart, there's so many people walking around, there's so much stimulus, like the lights overhead, the aisles, like anything just entirely stimulates my mind, like to an insane degree to where if I was like looking at even just like like an LSD trip with like, you know, waves and light patterns, I would probably fucking lose it, man.
yeah, and just to know like you can't get out of it. Like there's not like an exit
Yeah,
where it's like,
you
okay,
just
let me
have
just
to wait.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, shit. I figured I'd ask because I genuinely thought you had, especially according to your some of your Twitch streams were pretty psychedelic. And I'm
No,
like,
I was just drunk off my ass. Like, I was always fine with drinking too. Never had a problem with that. So
yeah. See, oh, that's so interesting. I've drinking literally like 2 handfuls of times in my life. I don't
yeah.
drink often, and the last time I drank was like almost 2 years ago now. But see, I felt like I was way more out of control drunk
Really?
than high or than like on any psychedelic.
Like I did that whole level 3 fire cape thing drunk. So I mean, like,
Yeah, I could, dude. And it's probably just because I had like absolutely zero tolerance built up.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm literally like, my mind's going everywhere. I'm laughing about everything. I just am out of control basically. And in a good way. It's not like it's really bad, and I always feel sick the next morning.
Sick. Yeah, that's the thing I do not miss at all.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. I do not miss that. That's when I always think about going back to drinking. Like I'm just like think about that nasty like hangover feeling. Oh God.
Yeah, that's just the smell. I just remember waking up. I always wake up early because I'm so dehydrated. And then I just have like a pulsing headache. And I'm like, dude, I smell bad. Like, I feel like I was just sweating all night. Like, it's gross. Yeah.
Yeah, you should smell like a Las Vegas hotel room, dude. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, by the way, do you go to like Twitch cons or Rune Fests with,
I have not.
is this something you're interested in?
I was thinking about it this year because it's in Las Vegas, and I have been to Las Vegas before, but it was before I had all these issues. So I don't know. I'm thinking about like getting the courage up and trying to go to it.
Dude, you should come. I'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah, I just know I definitely probably like if I did go to it, I wouldn't go to any like after parties probably or anything like that because I have heard it gets a bit wild. I'd probably just
does.
literally go to the convention or maybe like stop by at one, but yeah, I don't know because I don't even drink or do anything anymore, and I just feel like an out of place like loser in social situations. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it though.
That'd be cool. If you do, you should hit me up. I'd come out of my way to come visit.
So are you going?
I don't have any plans set in stone right now, but that is definitely like a thing I want to do is go to TwitchCon Las Vegas. So
Yeah,
I'm looking for just mainly because I just don't do things with other creators. I've never met up with any other like
same here.
decent sized creator. Like I don't know, I just feel kind of out of the loop. Sometimes I feel, and that's
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely like cliques and stuff, and it's
yeah.
like, you just feel out of I've never felt in any of that.
And I think that's kind of how I feel. I mean, it's like people like me enough. I'm aware of that, but I don't ever make an effort to do things. And that makes me feel like in my head they think I'm not their friend because I'm not doing things. Like I'm not making efforts to do things.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So it's like fuck. Like I do want friends. Like I do want to be involved and stuff, but it's just that social anxiety and just everything else and just
Right.
yeah, but I'm really excited for this year to start meeting.
Yeah, I heard a
people.
lot of things about last year and like how everyone went there because there wasn't a Rune Fest going on and
There's tons of
and
people.
all the and everyone getting sick afterwards.
Way too many drugs.
I'm afraid of everything, man. I'm afraid of flying. Like I would probably literally drive there.
Yeah, dude, I'm the same way. Like Flying's not that. I think flying gets bad when I haven't done it for years.
Yeah,
Because it's
it's
like,
been like 11 years for me, so
yeah. Because when I went to like I just went to Mexico in December with my family, and just that experience of going through multiple airports and international, like that gave me the comfort of like, okay, airports aren't as scary as I was like making them out in my mind. Because when I go to an airport alone, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like
oh yeah, that sounds
it's
awful.
just like I get lost and I'm like freaking
Like a
overthinking. I'm like, I'm gonna
maze.
miss my flight or just. But as
Hmm.
soon as I go there once, I'm like, okay, this isn't as bad as I built it up in my mind. Because now when I'm taking a flight in April to go to Tennessee, and it's like, it
Just
won't be
take a
as bad.
Greyhound bus, man.
Fuck Greyhounds, dude. I took a Greyhound for 20
No.
hours.
Where?
I
When?
went home from school back to Oregon. This is back like 6 years ago.
Hmm.
It was That was a horrible experience, dude. I had a dude sitting next to me the whole time that smelled so bad. So fucking bad. He smelled like, I don't even want to explain it. It'll make people sick. But like he
Yeah,
just smelled horrible. And it was the worst part of it was it was
for 20
whiffs.
hours.
It was
Oh my
whiffs of
God.
it. So he had this nasty old blanket on him. And whenever he moved, he would lift his blanket up. There's this massive whiff of just,
Oh.
whew. I'm like, okay, time to puke. Like it was, and so I have this dude sitting next to me. The whole bus is pretty packed, and it just is not a fun experience. I'm getting car sick. I'm smelling shit. People are arguing over stuff in the back. I'm like, oh my god, like get me off of this thing.
Yeah, that sounds awful. My dad had this story of his friend who was ironically afraid of flying, and he took a Greyhound to like get to this business trip destination because they said they'd pay for that instead of a flight. And they like on this dude's bus drive there, they literally found a dead guy in the bathroom of the Greyhound, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna fly back. Like I don't think I'm that afraid of flying anymore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which you think is like pretty probable because there's a lot of junkies and everything on those things. So
Oh yeah, people overdosing in the fucking back. Probably just,
yeah,
yeah. Oh my god.
crazy.
Yeah, no. Oh, now that I think about it, because this is back before I'd ever done like any drugs, basically, or even
Hmm.
I at this point I had never even drinking beer except for like a couple times that were just like random occurrences, but I hadn't done any drugs or anything. And so looking at every single person on that bus now in hindsight, yeah, every single one of those motherfuckers was on drugs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I wasn't. That's probably why I was so miserable. Like I should,
yeah.
yeah, I
You
should.
weren't in on the party, man.
No. Oh my god, that is so funny. Um, okay. Let's see. I'm looking at these topics. I don't understand this one. You have to let me know. Krylax asks, how has living in the shadow of T Papa and being consistently compared to him affected you and your career positively? Is that the case?
Um, I could say there's been an instance of that. So, like everyone, I think this is like a sort of ongoing meme. Everyone thought that like T Papa looks a lot like me, at least used to look
Really?
like because he had the long hair, he had like
Okay.
the
Glass.
glasses,
Yeah.
the beard. I think did he have the beard? I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, but he had that, and then he had that kind of like IRL hybrid RuneScape video with the like the like hooker he paid like to do the 5K, or
Mm,
was it no, it was Jad, I think. I don't even something like that. This was like a
something.
Jad video, real life, looks like me. And there's like a lot of comments on it. There was like, I thought this was, or I think he even commented on it. He's like, I'm like the off-brand Rendi, as like some, like haha moment. And yeah, it's pretty funny. It was a good video. And so like I've talked to him a couple times, and we kind of joked about how we look the same. And there was this one time this is the only time it's ever crossed over where he's kind of, influenced me in some way, where I had this random chick for like months on end like messaging me weird photos of herself, and like I don't know, and then she messaged me on Twitter too, and like on Discord and Twitter, and like trying to get my attention, like, hey babe, like I was like, really liked your new video. And then one of the messages, I never responded to any of these, just some psycho chick, and she's like, I saw your newest video with like the escort, and like
To
and
you?
to me.
Okay.
And she's like, I really like what this is on the table. She's like, I'm doing some of this too. And it was like a bag of Coke. Like, so it wasn't even mine or my video. And I sent it to him and I was like, hey, I think this chick's single and I think she thinks that I'm you. So like, if you want to DM her, she's open, even though she looks a little crazy. And
Oh my
he's
God.
like laughing my ass off. That wasn't even like a bag of Coke. It was something else. I forgot what he said. He's like, but like that's pretty funny. I might hit her up or something. And then that's the last time I talked to him. So I guess I'm getting some fans from him. I guess that's how he's influenced my career as a creator. He's giving me some free fangirls.
All those based guys and base team are. It's weird because they still feel like new streamers in my head, but a lot of them have been streaming 2 to 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the new generation.
I'd be scared to get on that podcast, man.
Oh, dude, it's nice. I think you
Isn't
genuinely.
Aren't you getting interviewed by like 5 people at the same time, man?
Yeah, I've been on it twice. The first time there was actually, I think there was 8 of us total, including myself. But
I'd be very intimidated.
it's not. It's really not. They actually make you feel pretty good, and they're easily moldable, as in like they'll mold to who they have on. So they can go crazy if it's like somebody that wants to go crazy, but they can be like really respectful and just down to earth, like really down to earth, which feels good. It just seems like you're talking with a bunch of old friends, even though like you've never met them and stuff.
Never spoken to them.
Yeah, it feels like that though, and that's why I have enjoyed being on there twice.
Yeah, I'd be down for it. I feel like I would just be an awkward piece of shit, like if I was on that.
No. You would be totally fine. It's surprising how like nice it is. Plus because you have like 5 different people questioning you, you get really good topics. You get just good stuff where it's just one host like me. I'm just fucking like, okay, let me go to the next Twitter topic, or let me when it's just one mind, it's not like it's that big of a deal, but there's a difference between one mind and 5 people's minds and people getting ideas off of others, and they just end up being really interesting conversations, in my opinion. I like them. Shout out Based After Dark. It's funny though, when they first started that podcast, they were really trying to be edgy with it. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Based After Dark was like, we just talk about whatever the fuck we want, and then like by episode 2 they're like, yeah, let's just maybe tone it back a little bit. This is YouTube,
Yeah,
but I think
I don't know how I feel about YouTube these days.
Oh yeah, what do you mean?
I just feel like all the content's going shit, and like it's promoting garbage, and I don't know.
Do you have like, is it just because of the
fucking hate Mr. Beast? No, I'm just kidding. But like there's like, it's just all a bunch of Mr. Beast copycats. They're just yelling at the camera. They got soy face as their thumbnail, and like, and people love it. They eat it up, they watch it. I don't know.
So for those that don't know, like you did, I feel like you applied to something for Mr. Beast on Twitter.
I got an interview with Mr. Beast as like a writer.
You had an interview?
Well, not with him, but with his company.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I thought it was
which
like,
I think was like literally his like cousin or something, because it actually looked like him, the person I was talking to. Like had the same face. I was very confused. But
Mr. Beast. What happened to you?
And they won. I think I got denied because they were like really into views and trending topics, and I was just like, yeah, I don't hop on trends. I just like being creative. So, yeah. So and I did want to apply, like, and just to like see what I could do if I got that position. And I don't think I would have even accepted it even if they offered it to me, because they wanted me to stop making YouTube videos altogether while I was employed by them. They said you can't upload anything on your channel. And then they said, what else was it? Oh, you have to move in office to South Carolina. And I keep in mind I made this application 6 months ago before I was even like married, before I even thought I was gonna get a house. So I was like, I'm actually like set to move into a new home in a week. And originally I was able to move, but now my wife's got a new job. I'm just bought a house and I'm married. So it's been 6 months since you guys like took the time to contact me.
Yeah.
And but they're like, no, we want you to move here and we would want you to, and I said, is there any guarantee of contract? Are you going to employ me for like a year or something if I take this? And she's like, well, we put you on a 3-week trial. And
What the fuck?
yeah, and if we don't think you're the right match, we can just send you home after that. But we can guarantee your employment for 3 weeks. I was like, you're telling me I gotta move out to South Carolina for a possibility of just going home in 3 weeks?
You
I was
just
like,
know
no.
that they can do that because so many people just it's like their
Yeah,
dream job.
and I told her, I think this also got me denied because I told her, I was like, if the price is right, like I can do anything, like I'm just gonna be upfront and honest with you because it needs to be a decent pay for me to move out there for 3 weeks just to test this thing out. After my wife just got a new job, after I just bought a house out here, I'd have to rent this house out to someone, et cetera, et cetera. Like, and so I kept trying to inquire, like what would be the like the pay for this, or like, and she wouldn't tell me, and I think she took that badly because like I wanted to know like how much money I was gonna get, but in reality, like I need to know that to
Yeah.
make that decision if I even want to continue being interviewed or not. So yeah, I don't know.
Sheesh. Yeah, that Mr. Beast is like I don't really watch his videos. I'm not even recommended his
Oh, I
videos.
don't either. I just
But
honestly just memed my way into the application. Like I replied with some meme ass video or something and picture and message, and I think it got like one of the top liked replies on his initial like application post. And then they finally I think looked at my resume and contacted me. But I've only watched like 2 of his videos, but they're so insane. It's just like,
they
why?
have to because they're
Here's
appealing.
$10,000. Here, like
Yeah.
it's like literally every minute they're switching the topic. They're like, "Here, I'm gonna smash this car. Hey, look, there's a guy climbing up this 10,000-foot story building. Hey, look, here's $10,000." Like it's just like it's so, oh God, it's
I
like for
know.
people who have no attention span, and I feel like
It's
that's where all of
maximum
YouTube's
exposure.
going. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that's where all of YouTube's going, but I think that's definitely where people's attention spans are coming to because
that's
of the
where the
content.
people who are going viral are
Yeah,
going. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
The recipe for viral
mm-hmm.
max exposure is just go
Yep.
crazy and yeah. No, that's fair.
I see it even in RuneScape videos, but I don't know.
It's just that yeah, I mean,
Every new creator's like hopping on the chunk man thing, for example, like the how you get success right now on YouTube, like viral success or like at a decent rate, is by just copying other people, and making, I don't know, like like I've keep getting recommended chunk man videos from like chunk man, chunk man group, chunk man this area, chunk man that, and it's got like 5K views, and I've never seen this person. They have like 10 subscribers. I'm like, the algorithm is feeding me these views from people who just like threw up one singular chunk man video then quit.
yeah. Oh God. I took inspiration from Idol last week, him on the cast, and he was mentioning like well, I had mentioned like, oh, how successful are like shorts for you and stuff, and he gets a lot of views off of his shorts. So I made a secondary channel called Sae Bae Clips
Hmm.
because I wanted to just shove all my clips on there. And then I started like I made a short, and and it took me so long to make like one short because not like so long, but it takes me longer to make a short than it would just be to have like a normal like 8 minute clip of a Sae Bae cast, for
Right.
example. Just because a short needs to be 60 seconds. And so I have to cut out all the dead air basically to have a point.
Hmm.
And then I also need to make it look vertical and add
Vertical, yeah.
some fucking like just something to keep people entertained basically because that's literally what the whole whatever I'm trying to like the whole concept of shorts is like maximum just like get people hooked, like get people to watch this, what's going to grab their attention immediately and keep it for 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Anyway,
Yeah.
I made like 2 shorts. I deleted one because I didn't like it, so there's just one short on there. But I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do the shorts thing. I think it would just be better if it was just normal clips, you know, like a Joe Rogan clip or something, where it's
At
just
the end of the day, you just gotta do like what you want to do and not like, as bad as that sounds, like,
it's true though. You're right.
because you're gonna get burnt. You're not gonna continue. Like, even if it's getting you more views, you're just gonna fall off or something. You're gonna stop. And I don't know. I like that's like last year. I kind of focused more on making videos. I didn't really want to, and I got like a lot of money and like views from that, right? But I I did it because it was necessary, because I was buying a new house, because I was getting married, because all these things were happening in my life. And now I'm kind of just like relaxing and can do what I finally want to, and it's just so much more satisfying. And
Mm-hmm.
I was so burnt of just putting out like crap content, in my opinion, that I spent like way too long in a video, like, realistically. But I feel like there's an in between, doing what you want to do and doing kind of what the algorithm or what other people want you to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, you're right. It's all about sustainability at the end of the day. It comes with like everything in life.
Mhm.
It's got to be something you like and something you can see yourself doing for a long time.
Yeah.
So, okay. Shep asks, do you have any plans to bring back hybrid IRL / RuneScape style videos? I'm sure those videos are insanely taxing to make, but they're so good. You're the fucking goat, and Andrew Callahan stole the hunting Bigfoot video from you 100%.
Um, maybe like once in a blue moon. I don't see myself doing
Yeah.
it full time though. Like I said, I'd rather write something and have someone else do it, like,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
long
yeah.
run of things. But yeah, maybe every now and then, like, because sometimes I do get that urge to do something, and then I realize I didn't like it, but I completed and fulfilled the urge. So, yeah, I could see like a couple things coming out of that. The part about Andrew Callahan stealing the Bigfoot video. Did you hear about that? You know who Andrew Callahan is, right?
I've heard of him. I see
The
that.
Channel
Tell
5
me.
news guy,
Oh,
or
that
all gas no brakes was his
that's
old
his
channel.
name. That
Yeah,
like the main dude that holds the mic.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that was his
he
name.
did a Bigfoot video, like, I think like a year after mine, and it's like eerily similar. Like, the shot, he goes to a small town, he goes to like a gas station that's got like Bigfoot stuff. He finds a guy there, and then he goes out and hunts Bigfoot with the guy, which is basically the exact same thing I did. And like, I don't think he did it on purpose. Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
but like the shots, like, I've compiled. I can't find the MGR on it, but I compiled like 10 shots, and they're all like the same camera angles, like zooming in on the city sign, the population, like the B-roll's even the same, and like it's just like the whole video is like the same timeline, the same shots, the same camera angles. It's really fucking weird.
Weird. Do you think
Yeah,
he watched it? Your video?
I don't know. He might have, but I don't know.
That's
He definitely
strange.
didn't copy it. I think he might have seen it afterwards, because I noticed some people actually sent me a link on some Reddit thread where people were saying like Rendi has a video that's just like this or something on his like subreddit.
Weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. Okay, yeah, I haven't watched his. I think I'd watched briefly yours.
Hmm.
Um, okay, Only Trails asks, how often do you still watch RuneScape YouTube yourself? Which are your go-to YouTubers to watch RuneScape?
Dude, I almost ever like never watched RuneScape YouTube ever. Like, when I started, I
Hmm.
didn't even like watch anybody, which is kind of weird. But nowadays I do watch a lot more people, like, uh, bigger YouTubers. I watch like Verf a lot, just because he does like insane grinds.
Yeah, I love his series.
Yeah, I like watching him on stream too. If I rarely get on Twitch, it'll be like you, Verf, and who else is it? Sometimes Radish Boy, I think. Um, and then, yeah, who else are we thinking? I watch a lot of new YouTubers, so like I've been watching like Frosty Bard's Edgeville chunk series, and I think watched Buzz's like Falador chunk series. I don't know though. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I watch Gillenor Games. Does that count?
Yeah, but that counts.
I think everyone's watched that at this point, but yeah, and I've watched like all of the old Swamplatic stuff, and I watched some of Tedious's stuff. I don't know, a little bit of everything.
What do
I
you
never
think?
really finish like a series though, weirdly enough. Like I'll get really invested into something and I'll watch like 5 episodes and I'll just
Just
forget about
it's
it.
yeah, it's like that's it.
Yeah.
What do you think is like missing from old school content creation, if anything? Do you think like, and you brought this up earlier, where things are getting a little stale, it feels like, in
Hmm.
YouTube, but I don't know. Is there like a concept that
I feel
you
like
would
people
personally like
need
to
to,
watch?
yeah, I just feel like people need to create something more original. I don't know. Like I hate seeing the copycat of everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got copycat Tile Man, you got copycat Chunk Man, you got um now it's like prop hunt. Everyone does like they just it's in every category of YouTube, but like RuneScape too. You just hop on whatever's trending, you know, or like new update comes out, so everyone's gonna do a video on the update. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would want to see. Something that I've never seen that's not just um like Chunkman at first was like that for me. Like I had never seen it. And so it was really interesting. I don't enjoy like prop hunt videos, like or like I don't enjoy like Jimmy Ramble videos, I'm gonna be honest. But
I love Jimmy Ramble videos.
really,
I think I didn't at first. I think they've grown on me. I
or like I don't know, like
But what you want is like original RuneScape, like just
gameplay.
creative. Yeah, creative
Yeah,
gameplay
creative
where
gameplay. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And not just like not just like hide and seek or like something out of the game. Even like RSMVs, I hated those back in the day because it wasn't like the real game. You know, it's just
Hmm.
someone making a music video over. It's like Minecraft has prop hunt videos too, so they're not. It's not just RuneScape, but like they try and turn the game into something that wasn't. I don't know. It's not really part of the game, and although that is creative, when you first see it, I feel like it just kind of gets old. Um, so yeah, something in the game that's just really unique. I don't even know if that'd be another game mode or what. I don't know what. Honestly, I would want to watch.
Yeah, no, I feel what you mean. I think you're actually one of those YouTubers in my head that I think of just when I see a Rendi video. Rendi. No, I'm kidding. When I see a Rendi video, it's like, okay, this is gonna slap. I'm not sure what to expect generally. Some of the time I know
I
what to
feel like
expect.
that's how how my videos used to be, and I'm even critical of my own videos like lately, but I'm trying to get back on track with that, like
Hmm.
this year with the last video and hopefully all the ones to come. But last year I just feel like trash man mode, like I felt like that entire idea was stupid, but I just executed it because I knew it would get views. Like, let's be honest, like some stupid game mode, like it's so convoluted, someone's gonna watch it.
Yeah,
And but I want to get back to like like this is a Rendi video. I don't want to just put
that's
out
cool. That's cool. That's cool. Do
yeah.
you ever so you do all your edits, correct?
Yeah, I don't do the animations anymore though.
Would you ever hire an editor to do everything, or do you enjoy editing enough and do you like the style that you use enough to like keep doing it yourself all the time?
And I don't necessarily enjoy editing, but I feel like no one can really imitate it the same
Mm-hmm.
in the same style. So that's the big problem. The other problem is you'd have to like literally almost do all the work for the person who's editing for you. You'd have to get them all the graphics, all
Yep.
the timeline of everything you want done. You'd have to get them the voiceover clips and tell them where to put them. So I feel like at that point it's almost just as bad as editing, at least in my sense. Now, if you were just gonna like clip together some clips and like or like a highlight reel of something, obviously you could hire an editor for that. But none of my content's really like that, so it's kind of more difficult.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I wish I could have an editor. I just don't think it would work.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be the same Rendi stuff. You have to. Something I'm considering right now is like if I ever were to make a series or something, I would initially start it off with an editor.
Yeah, so it always retains that same kind of style.
Exactly. Because now I'm thinking about it.
The problem with that is what if the guy ditches you and you're
Yeah,
like,
that's a
you
good
have to
point.
switch it again. You're really reliant on other people, which is good and bad. But
Yeah. Like currently, I don't rely on anybody for anything. It's like everything I do is all my own. And
I spent over $1,000 on production of that last video.
sheesh, a grand and 1,000 hours.
Yep.
Dear
It
God.
took a while to edit it too. I feel like I don't know. I should have just probably paid an editor, but I don't know. Just wouldn't be the same. Like I feel like, and like I said, it's the same amount of work for my end. But
Yeah. But the cool thing is,
I don't have people doing my taxes either. Like because I have to gather all the documents up.
yeah, you're gonna have to do it anyway.
Find all the
Basically.
receipts. Yeah, it's basically
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, that's cool though. The fact that you do enjoy it enough and you're doing it yourself means like it's all you. And I think that's more fulfilling too, to release something that was like really all you. It's
yeah.
cool. Okay, well, you had mentioned him, I believe. Frosty Barf, he just has something really. He just wants to say something. He says, "How was Rendi able to find pants that fit his massive dong?" So I guess a little bit of shout out.
I only wear sweatpants.
Oh my
I
God.
actually do only wear sweatpants nowadays because like I
They're
don't
so
ever leave my
comfy.
house. I know, and they're so comfortable.
They're so comfy. My problem with sweatpants is I get way too hot in them recently. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. I've just been getting really hot. I think maybe, yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe the
I wear
sweatpants
just
I
like
got are just
some
thicker.
shorts. I have like these like shorts that feel like sweatpants. Wearing them right now, actually.
I've been wearing a lot of shorts. Dude, I used to be a jean wearer up until like basically 23.
Same here, except until like 2 years ago. I was like, like even in the summer, like the hot summer, I'd always wear jeans. Like I would
Yeah,
not wear shorts
it
ever.
was the style. It was like I feel like myself when I'm wearing jeans. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Now when I put on a pair of jeans, I'm like, damn, I feel constricted as hell.
I also hated like my skinny legs, so I would never wear shorts like out in public.
Oh yeah, I was really really pale. So like going and playing. I don't know. It was mainly like high school and stuff. Like we'd go and play basketball, and everyone was wearing like gym shorts and stuff, and I got those like pale ass legs. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna wear like super long socks, or I'm just gonna wear like.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but I would wear jeans sometimes when playing basketball. But most of the time, I wear sweatpants, and even though I'm sweating my ass off, it's like no,
Yeah.
that's funny. Like nobody gives a fuck except for you.
Yeah, no, you don't realize that till you're older, but fuck.
I know.
I used to really, really care about that. And now it's just like non-existent entirely.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good. The biggest part for me is like I need to, in order for me to have full confidence with myself, I need to feel good and I need to look all right. Like that is like the biggest thing is I just need to feel good.
not look dirty. Like that's my main thing.
Just clean up. Like that's the biggest thing. And also just like because I have been getting more into exercise the past year, like just if I exercise, I just even if I don't look any better, even if I look worse, I feel better, and that like helps. And it's just like, okay, now I feel like I want to do things, and that involves everything, like just going outside. Like just if I haven't showered, if I haven't done, I don't want to go outside, but if I just make sure I feel good and look all right, like I can do things in my day. And that even includes streaming. Like there's so much that goes through me. So I wish I could hit a stage where I just don't care about that shit anymore. It's just like so ingrained in me I need to feel optimal to do things.
I feel that. I need to get back into like cardio or something. Like, because I feel bad like 50% of the day. I just like sit here, man. It's terrible.
It's literally just getting into the role of things, like just getting into that habit of just like, okay,
Mm.
now I do this. But I've done the same thing for years where I just sit on my ass all day, go to sleep, sit on my ass all day, go to sleep, sit on my. It's like,
Yeah.
like what is like I have so much goddamn time to just do something, like
Yeah.
just fucking move like a little bit. But it's so hard in those moments because it's just not you, you know? It's just like, yeah, that sounds horrible. Oh, the other thing is when you don't move a lot, this is what was happening to me is I started getting tired legs where
What is that?
it's like your legs are just exhausted. I think part of it was just the sheer amount of caffeine I was drinking. So I
Ooh,
drink a
yeah.
bunch of caffeine, wouldn't drink enough water, and I wouldn't move much. And I'd keep my legs really like stationary in like one position for like hours. And so I'd get
Oh,
tired legs to the point where like my legs would kind of just be sore all the time, like permanently just slightly sore. And so even if I
mm.
wanted to go and like go for a walk or like a jog or something, it was like this is going to be painful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was just like slightly discomfort, permanent leg, just
Mm.
tiredness and yeah, not
Yeah, I
fun.
feel like I get like weakness and I don't even do anything. So like, I feel like it's part of that.
Mhm. Do you drink a lot of caffeine? Are you pretty
Um,
good at?
I drink Diet Coke a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
I drink a lot of.
so that's I don't drink like coffee or anything though
Mm, yeah,
anymore.
I'm trying to get back into water only again. I always go through phases where I just get like really hooked on just drinking something.
Yeah, I
And
literally go to the gas station every morning and get like a 32-ounce Diet Coke, man. Like that's the only time I go outside. It's terrible to go to the fountain. It's bad.
yeah, but it's like it's fun when you make it a routine. Like you just don't think about it too much. Like, oh, this is
Yeah,
nice.
it's like, oh yeah, I'm going outside. This is good for me. I'm getting
I
Diet
know.
Coke.
Dude, I'll go through. Yeah, no, yeah, that's funny. What? So on an average day, if you could choose like a dinner, what would you eat? Like what's like your go-to? Like this is gonna fucking slap for dinner.
Like like an average day, or like what would I want to eat?
I guess what would you want? Yeah, not like I'm just saying like on average when you think about having like a really good dinner, like you're gonna go out somewhere or something. Like what do you crave? What do you want?
Fucking pizza.
Dude,
It sounds terrible, but pizza.
same.
Like
It's
a
same. God
like a
damn it.
whole pizza, dude. Like not even like
But
it's
what
terrible,
kind
man.
what kind of pizza? And is it local
Um,
or do you get it like just franchise?
both. There's not many local places here, not many franchises either. There's like one of each, but I'll alternate between the two.
Mm.
Um, and like I don't know, I don't eat meat, so like just anything like mushroom, olive, I don't know, jalapeno.
So are you vegetarian or vegan?
Technically I'm pescatarian, so
Okay.
I eat seafood, but I don't eat
That's
meat.
the
Like
best form in my opinion. I fucking love
yeah,
seafood. And you still get
yeah,
like that
seafood's my favorite.
super nutrient dense food.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's good. My sister and brother-in-law are visiting. They're like full on vegan, like
Oh, I could
s-
never do that,
super
especially
vegan.
dairy products.
Yeah, I mean, veganism is very tough to live, especially if you want to maintain like really good nutrition and health. Like yeah, you got to be really on that shit. Like sometimes I kind of worry about my niece just a little bit, mainly because she's slightly underweight. No, I don't even think she's underweight. I think she's
Wait,
just
they're making her a vegan and she's a child?
yes,
Oh.
and that worries me. Um, and to be fair, like she's totally like healthy, I guess. I mean, she is healthy. She's like active and stuff, and but she's just really skinny. Um, she's just small, like not like skinny. She's just small. And I just wonder, I'm like, well, for sure, she would be a lot bigger if she was not on that diet.
She needs some almond milk, man. Just kidding.
And it's like I know she could still get all the proper nutrients. It's just it's way tougher. And my sister even admits to that. That
Yeah,
like it's so easy to just get a bunch of processed shit that's vegan. that's horrible for you and just loaded with carbs and like
Yeah,
there's no actual.
probably honestly why I feel like shit a lot is because I do eat some of that quite often. So I don't know. Like I've definitely heard of bad things with like especially not vegetarian, fully vegan diets.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't think you should put a kid on that, to be honest.
I
But
know, I know. You can't
or at
say
least like
anything.
have them decide.
I know, and they're a child, so what are they deciding
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
the
true.
The whole thing is so tough. It's like, what am I supposed to say? But
Yeah,
to them, it's about, animal suffering. So you like, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with that. Like I'm, I think of those things too. I'm like, what am I doing to
We just need processed bug food, man. We need to become bug people.
honey? Just eat honey all the
No,
time.
like bug patties.
Oh, just like
Like
literally eating bugs.
like eating smashed
Well,
up flies.
okay, so let me ask. So you're pescatarian. Is it because
Yeah.
of a moral thing
No, I
at
just don't
all?
like meat.
Really?
No.
So it has nothing to do
Well,
with it.
I don't like the idea of like slaughtering animals, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah. But that's not the reason. It's just because you
no,
don't
I
like
just don't
meat.
like the idea of eating like a
Big,
mammal carcass. I don't know. Like, but for some reason with a fish, it doesn't connect the same.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, because
Yeah, I don't know.
sometimes,
I'm fucking weird, dude. I don't know. I have no idea why it's like that.
no, I mean that I think that's like honest. That sounds nice. Like I'm a huge seafood person and pizza person. I fucking love pizza. Just
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat those like Impossible burgers and stuff though. And that's what I was saying. That's probably why I feel like shit all the
I
time.
need to try one of those. I need to
They're
try.
really good.
Yeah,
They're good.
I've heard they like really taste. Aren't they
Yeah.
just beans or something?
They like beetroot and like all kinds of
Okay.
weird textures mixed together to try and emulate it.
I live in Eugene right now, so there's a ton of vegan places and a ton of just like
Yeah, in
crazy.
Oregon, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I need to like try some more of those. So whenever my sister comes down, she wants to visit a bunch of like vegan places and I'll try
Or you could
stuff.
just go to Burger King.
I was thinking of
Burger
that
King or Carl's Jr.
Impossible Whopper. Is that good? Is that as good as a Whopper? Like, oh, I guess you wouldn't know, but
I can't remember, but I would say yes, sure.
I'll try one of these. I fucking hate Burger King. First of all, gross. I hate Burger King.
What about McDonald's?
McDonald's is fine.
Yeah.
Shit. I'll eat McDonald's. Burger King's just horrible. There's something about it. One time I ordered on DoorDash. I ordered a Chick-King. Still
Oh
never
yeah.
had one, but I ordered one. And you know what they gave me? They decided, oh, we're out of chicken, so we're just gonna give you a normal chicken sandwich, the thing like on a hoagie that they sell. Just like
Yeah.
piece of shit. Anyway, it's like they gave me that, and I ate half of it, and I really should have just taken one bite, spit it out, and threw it away because it was so horrible. It was like cobweb chicken. It was like microwave Tyson chicken nugget thing. And then the bread was horrible and the sauce tasted so bad. I'm like, why am I eating this garbage right now? And the whole meal sucked. And I'm like, yeah, this is the biggest waste of money. They didn't even get my
Yeah.
meal right. Like, I'm just pissed.
I
Every
keep
time I
seeing
go.
those, yeah, those like burgers they advertise, but they look like subs or something. They're like extra long or something.
Yes, those are
Yeah.
I would never order one of those. They already look bad, but they replaced my Chick-King with that. And it was
Oh my God.
gross. It's so
Huh.
gross. Yeah. If I'm gonna get if they have a place here called Killer Burger. It's good. I know you're not a burger eater.
You ever been to Brahms?
Brahms. Why does that sound so fucking familiar?
BRAUMS. It's really like Midwest, I think.
Brahms. Have I
Probably
been
not.
there? No, I think I have. What is it?
It's like a burger ice cream kind of place.
Dude, we drove. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because when I was driving, I don't think there was one in Alabama. When I was driving the U-Haul, though, we saw a Brahms in Atlanta, or not Atlanta. Not Atlanta. Where am I thinking?
You've been too many places, man.
I think it was Oklahoma City. Actually, we
Oh
drove
yeah,
through
that
Oklahoma
makes
City.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it was.
They have Sonic where you're at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sonic's all right.
Yeah,
I won't go there, Val.
I don't really like it. They always give us like cold fries and shit like that.
Yeah, Sonic's sketchy. Yeah, uh, interesting. Well, yeah. Well, cool. Looks like we've covered pretty much all of it. Oh, well, actually, there is one I forgot to mention. Wizard asks, how many Bud Lights have you put down in a single sitting?
26.
26.
And it was at my desk playing RuneScape. So
Just last night. No.
no, no, it was versus like this really overweight guy, right? And I used to talk to him on like Skype. This was even before Discord, and um he like challenged me to a case race or something. And being a degenerate like 20-year-old, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I don't remember what happened, but we had a guy counting, and we both finished around 25 or 26, and
Oh my God.
and then we both just like blacked out and didn't really know what else happened after that. So yeah, and it was on a Skype call. That's how social I am. So
Jesus Christ. So how do
I
you
had
feel
I had a
after that?
bad problem, like terrible, man,
Like
terrible.
what do you
You don't
feel
get
like
out
after
till maybe
26?
10:30 p.m. the next day.
Sheesh.
Like I remember there's a few times where it was that bad. Like I would drink like a whole bottle of vodka or something, and like not the good kind, like UV birthday cake flavored vodka.
Oh
Like
God, I don't even want to imagine what that tastes like.
disgusting, like straight sugar and alcohol basically.
Ugh.
And I would have like a friend over or something when I was like some degenerate like 19 or 20-year-old, and I'd just drink the whole thing just sitting on my computer. And I don't even know how I'm still alive, but yeah, I slept like maybe 3 hours, and I just woke up and I was just like I'm just puking the whole day basically. So
Oh my
that's how it
God.
feels. It's terrible. I don't miss it at all.
That's good. That that's a good thing to have gone through and realize.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. Rendi, this was a really nice conversation. Kind of ended a little with the beer chugging and everything. Maybe not the greatest topic to end off on, but
Yeah.
I do want
Don't
to
do that at home. It's a terrible idea.
I do want to ask though, do you have any big plans for YouTube this year or within the next 2 years? I know you said you want to get back into like just making quality content, which
Yeah.
I've always thought they were all quality. You're your own worst critic, but
I don't know,
yeah.
man. Trash Man's pretty bad.
I mean,
I don't
but
know
it's
about
called
Trash
Trash
Man.
Man, so you just expect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. 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 I would just say continue the series I'm on. I'm gonna have the Scold work on like the animations probably for every video. So I'm gonna spend a lot on production every video,
That's cool.
time and money wise, and maybe like a video every month, maybe even less. Um, I kind of want to stream to kind of supplement the income a bit because I'm only putting out a video every month and spending a lot of money on it.
Hmm.
So I might try that. I don't know though. Like I said, I tried streaming. I was like, I don't know if I like this. I didn't have as bad of a time as I usually did. I streamed for like 3 or 4 days in a row a couple weeks back.
What
But I
is
don't. I
it?
might try it again. I don't know.
What do you think is it that burns you out the most? Is it streaming too many days or streaming for too long? Or is it just the whole thing?
Neither, because I do the same thing anyways off the camera. So, I think it's interacting with chat, and like I said, like I can do it for one day and be fine, kind of like you said with the podcast. You can do like once a week.
Hmm.
I feel I could definitely see me doing something once a week, but I feel like I would need to do more than that. And
Yeah.
it's I could be like a terrible streamer, right, and just like not react to chat, and that'd be great. But I don't know. Some days I do just want to do that, just as like a joke, just get on my stream and just don't respond to anything, and just see what happens. But I don't think that's gonna work out either. So I don't know. I'll just have to see. I could maybe just expose myself to it slowly and get over it that way. Exposure therapy is always good. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I do have some like big plans though for that series going on, and
Hell
some
yeah.
crazier things than that DFS for sure this
Yes.
year even.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
like I was saying, like the next video is literally going to require me to be on like 40 accounts. So for to get a berserker ring. So yeah, that, and then I have maybe 2 other videos planned after that in the series, so 3 total from now. And maybe longer grinds after that and slower like backlogs between videos. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe streaming. I don't know.
Very cool. Well, everybody that's still listening, go down in the description. Rendi, I'll have your YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, any other links you'd like provided.
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. No, that's good. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, guys, go drop him a follow down there. Drop a Twitch Prime if you see him live, or you can drop it on me, but I probably won't be live, but he probably will. Anyway,
I think
yeah.
you have a better chance of being live than me.
Barely. I'm trying to get into it myself, so like when I say these things, like I'm taking it for myself as well, like hearing you trying to get back into streaming. It's like I want to get back into streaming consistently. I used to be a very consistent streamer once upon a time.
Hey, you moved, man. You have an excuse. So.
That excuse is long gone. I'm just riding it out for no reason. I need to get my shit in order. So, but yeah, Rendi, thank you very much today. It was really nice talking.
Yeah, it was great talking to you.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, next week we will be having Coxie on the Sae Bae cast. Very excited for that one. And there's also 2 guests planned for the next week, but only patrons know who it is. So if you guys would like to subscribe to the Patreon for $2 a month down in the description, you can go support the Sae Bae cast down there. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you again, Rendi.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.